sis? Let me know. We're live? Okay. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started like we do every class. Get this popping. You are live at the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We have classes Mondays, Wednesdays from 7 to 10, Fridays from 9 to 12, and Sabbath morning classes from 12 to 10 to 3, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and get the text out, and if anybody has any questions, now's the time to do that, to ask questions, all right? So we dedicate the beginning of the class before we go into whatever we go into questions. That way everybody is getting their questions answered, man. We're really strict on giving people the opportunity to ask what they want to ask and, you know what I mean, get off their chest what they want to get off their chest. We ask y'all just to write it down, pen, paper. That way you have the scriptures. All right, that way it ain't like church. You know, they leave church. What did you learn? I don't know, baby, but it sure was good. That's not what you're supposed to do. Okay, you're supposed to know what we talk about and write it down. So that way, when those demons come after you, you can go right back and go over the scriptures and read them yourself. So let's do that. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, questions you got? Okay. Who invited you to class, brother? No, I know you. Who? Elizabeth. Okay. Did you have any questions? You know about what we teach?
I'm new to this.
Oh, okay.
I just want to hear it.
Okay. All right. Well, let me get that Israel. Ray, grab this sign. Hand him that sign, sis. Didn't mean to snap at you. Didn't mean to snap at you. This right here. So the Hebrew Israelites, we don't consider ourselves a religion. Okay. We consider ourselves a nation coming back to our identity, okay? And when you look at this sign here, the only right one on there really is the head tribe. There's no order to that. It's the only right one on there is the tribe of Judah, because Judah was going to be the head tribe. That's the Most High. He chose Judah to be the head of all the tribes. So there was no really specific order for the other ones. But these are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay? And we don't believe in religion because the Bible doesn't say anything about religion. You can't go nowhere in the Bible and read about being a Baptist, a Methodist, a Seventh-day Adventist, a Jehovah's Witness. Nowhere in the Bible. Right? You can't read about being a Muslim in the Bible. They don't say none of those names. So what is the difference between us? We're coming back to our true identity. Okay, so go to Baruch 4, verse 1 real quick. And I'll just give them a little info, man. I know y'all already know all this. You know what I mean? But we'll give them a little info about us. So these people on this sign, pick that sign up one more time, Ron. These people on this sign, you have our names today in America, which were put on us due to captivity and slavery. Okay? So whether you're a Spanish-speaking tribe, you had the conquistadors, the Spaniards conquer you, which were still white people, and they put these names on you. Or if you're one of the so-called dark-skinned tribes or Negro tribes, you know, same thing. The English conquered them and put these names on us. So when you go down this list, you see that Judah being the so-called Negroes. So-called, why? Because Negro is just a color. It's not a nationality. Like when you even go to the Spanish-speaking tribes, Puerto Rico, when the Spanish and the conquistadors came over to the port, they said it was a rich port, so they named it Puerto Rico. But think about it. There's no such thing as a nation of Puerto Ricans. But we've taken on that name. Why? Because slavery, captivity, okay? So I'm going to point out some very important things, you know. First and foremost, why we teach what we teach. So read that Baruch 4:1.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 1.
Yeah.
This is the book of the commandments of the Most High.
So the Bible, first of all, is a book of commandments. It don't got nothing to do with religion. Nothing. There's no, nowhere in the Bible it got anything to do with religion. The word religion in the Bible meant belief. That's all it means. Go ahead.
And the law that endureth forever.
So the Bible is a book of laws and commandments. So another thing they throw in there that the commandments are done away with, but the Bible is telling us it endures forever. This is going to be here forever. Go ahead.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
So everybody that keeps these laws, as we come back to these laws and commandments, we're going to come to life. Go ahead.
But such as leave it shall die.
But everybody that leaves it is dead. And when you look at the so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Panamanians, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, North American Indians, Seminole Indians, the people from Argentina to Chile, Colombia, Uruguay, these people are dead spiritually. They're spiritually dead because we're walking around calling ourselves everything else besides what we are. So we got comfortable in captivity. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. You're okay with what they give you. If it's a good job, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I was just watching that movie Race with the cat that run fast, what's his name? In the 30s? Jesse Owens, yeah. I was watching that, and even in the movie, you gotta have an eye for it, but it shows that they so-called freed us from slavery, but then his identity now is racing. You know what I mean? Forget about everything else. We're giving you the race. And that's what you got to put your mind into, and you can free yourself in this. So we freed ourselves in everything except the commandments of the Most High. And you hear that a lot in church, right? Read John 8:32. We're going to go back to Baruch 4. You can put that down now. We're going to go back to Baruch 4, but read John 8:32. You hear this a lot in church. They say it, they quote it wrong. So we're going to read it. Read that.
John 8:32.
Uh-huh.
Everybody got it? And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Right, so ye shall know the truth, and the truth was going to make you free. So, what is the truth? Right? And that's where you get in the Bible. That's why we try to push brothers and sisters to read, to study, to get in the book, to the things that you don't know. It's not going to come through you just sitting here listening. It's going to come through you studying and you knowing your history. Because a lot of this has to do with history. Because our history has been wiped away from us, you have to go into the history and the archaeology to relay it back to who the people of Israel are. Because if not, you're going to think these people over there in the land of Israel, they're the true Israelites. Right? So you have to go back to the history. So how do we know the truth? Go to John, search the scriptures, 7:38. Go to St. John 7:38.
St. John chapter 7 and verse 38.
Is that it? I don't think that's it.
Wow.
It's, let me see. John 7:38. 32? John, four, St. John 4. Forgot it. 4 and, let me find it. St. John, no. I want that one. I want that one real quick. It's 5:39. My bad. St. John 5:39.
St. John chapter 5 and verse 39.
Yeah, read that.
Search the scriptures,
Uh-huh.
for in them ye think ye have eternal life.
Right. So the Most High is showing us that the only way we're going to get this truth is we have to search the scriptures, right? We got to study, man. You got to get in this book. So that's how you're going to learn the truth of who you are, your true identity. You have to come out of this religion mind state. That the Bible is a book of religion. I come and learn the Bible one day a week. I say hallelujah. And then I go right back out, get high, do drugs, pop anything in sight, shoot a nigga, stab a nigga. You know how we did in the world. That's what we thought and we believed that was life. But we have to go back and search the scriptures. So, read St. John 2, verse 15, just with that one. St. John 2, verse 15.
St. John chapter 2, verse 15.
You got the mic there.
Read that.
And when St. John chapter 2 and verse 15.
No, 2 Timothy 2:15. Did I say St. John? I did. You go to 2 Timothy 2, verse 15.
2 Timothy.
Go. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15.
Read loud so they can hear you on the mic. Go ahead.
Study to show thyself approved unto God.
Right. So, how do we get the truth? We have to search the scriptures. We have to study. Because that's where the eternal life is. We got to get in this book and read. And when we study, you're going to learn your identity and you're going to learn the truth. So when we have to get in here, a lot of people want to talk about the Bible, but they don't know nothing about the Bible.
Go.
So you got to learn it. You got to go through the Bible and you have to read. Go ahead.
A workman that needed not to be ashamed.
Because coming in the Word, that's what we are. We're not workmen. We're workmen that are not going to be ashamed if we study, if we in the book. Go ahead.
Rightly dividing the word of truth.
And there's a right way to go through the Bible and divide it up. You know, we always say it all the time. In church, they tell you about God loves, right? But they don't tell you about God hates. In the Bible, God hates. But because they leave that part out, that's why the churches are not teaching the truth. Because they're not telling you the full Bible. They're only giving you one side of the Bible. Like, what's your name? Angel. Like if I said, oh yeah, Angel, man, this guy, man, he's over there, he's an ultimate fighter. You're like, what's your Angel? You know what I mean? I have to know you. To know you, I got to know all aspects of you. You know, you might be an ultimate fighter, but you might be more than that. Well, that's how the Most High is. The Most High is more than just what the religions have told us. And that's why we look at God the wrong way. We think God is to be played with. We can go out there, still sin, still do wickedness, and the Most High is going to be with us. You know, it don't work like that. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't be in the ghettos and the slums on crack and dope and pimping our women. So these are the things, man, that going through the Bible, you find out both sides of the Most High. He hates, but he loves. He loves, but he hates. Right? He has a chosen people. That's you. That's the nation of Israel. You know, well, why does he have a chosen people? God loves everybody. Okay, but he has a chosen people. You see that? So these are the things that is not being told to us. So go to Matthew 10, verse 5 and 6. And before I go to the Old Testament, I go to the New. Because a lot of these Christians, man, what do they want to go to? They want to go to the New. They want to go to the New. Why? Because they feel the old is done away with. Right, which is not, but you can go through the old and the new. But I'll go to the new first to show what? That everything that's in the new was said in the old. Y'all got that? So we're going to Matthew 10, verse 5 and 6 for what? Why are we going here? Who knows? We're going to go here to show what did the Most High call the Baptists? Did Christ call the Pentecostal? Did he call the Seventh-day Adventists, the Catholics, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Muslims? Let's see who he called. Read that. Matthew 10, 5 and 6.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth.
No, read it right.
These 12 Jesus sent forth.
Go ahead.
And commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
So Christ gave the commandments to these 12 apostles. So he said, go not into the way of the Gentiles. Go ahead.
And into any city of the Samaritans. enter ye not.
Because the land of Samaria weren't Israelites. They weren't Israelites over there in that land. So he said, don't go to the nations. A lot of churches don't show you this, that when Christ first came on the scene, he didn't say go to the nations. He said go to who?
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right. He said go to the Israelites. See? So these are the things that churches are not telling you. Or when they do tell you, they tell you what? We're spiritual Israelites. That's ignorance. Nobody can be a spiritual nationality. You are what your ancestors are. Right? So that's why Paul said in Romans, Romans 91? Go to Romans. Yeah, Romans 9, verse 1.
Romans chapter 9, verse 1. Everybody got it? Romans 9 and 1. I say the truth in Christ. I lie not.
Go ahead.
My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit.
Right. So this is Paul talking. Okay? And he was speaking from the Holy Spirit. Go ahead.
Verse 2. That I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
Go ahead.
For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ.
Right. So Paul is basically saying, I want to go. What Christ went through, he would take that on. You know, that's a hard saying, man. And that's what we're taking on as we come into this knowledge. We come into this truth. We're taking on the burden that Christ took on to sacrifice ourselves for our nation, but not physically. Not physically as in death, physically as in we're putting our life away to serve Christ. Go ahead.
For my brethren.
For my what?
Brethren.
Go ahead.
My kinsmen.
My kinsmen.
Kinsmen.
Right.
According to the flesh.
So Israelites are still here. It's according to the flesh. It's not according to the spirit. Nobody's a spiritual Israelite. Just like nobody could be a spiritual Chinese, a spiritual African, right? A spiritual Hindu, right? You have to be of that ancestry. And that's what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Who are Israelites?
Who are what?
Israelites.
So why is it important to know your nationality? Why is it important to know your identity? Because that's what they'll come to you in church. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. God chose everybody. No, he didn't. God didn't choose everybody. He chose you above all nations.
Come on.
See, that's why Paul said, who are what?
Israelites.
Read.
To whom pertaineth the adoption.
So you were cut off. And then because we disobeyed the commandments of God, now you're being adopted back through Christ. Go ahead.
And the glory.
And the what?
The glory.
Right, the glory. You know what that means? That God chose you to be glorified to all nations. And with this word, to teach all nations. You have the glory. Go ahead.
And the covenant.
And the contracts. So the contracts, like we went over Wednesday, wasn't created for everybody. The contract was between God and Israel. Go ahead.
And the giving of the law.
Read. So we're the ones. The reason why no Gentile is supposed to teach this, because the Most High commanded the children of Israel to teach them the laws. So why are we dedicating our time to teach you, the so-called niggers, Mexicans, Haitians, Dominicans, all of our people? Because that's what the Most High chose you for. That's why Christ said, don't go to the nations. He said, go to the Israelites. They're the first ones that have to learn. You're the sons. We have to get it right. Y'all get that?
God.
You know, and we ignorantly pray that without knowing what the Most High says when we say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Thy will be done in earth. So that means that, who is that going to be done by? First, it's going to be done by you. You're going to be the example. You're going to be the standard to all nations. To your people and all nations like Christ did. Go ahead.
And the service of the Most High.
And this is, the service was given to the Israelites. It's your job to do this priesthood. And not like back then, the Levitical priesthood was only by the Levites. He said, now you're a nation of kings and priests. So he's calling the men to be the priests. They're the examples, man. We messed it up, right?
God.
We messed up the women. When we slept around with them, pissed on them, ran trains on them, we messed them up. In return, they hated us and taught their daughters to hate us. Right? So the families now is disrupted. Then you taught your son how to treat that woman with no wisdom, no understanding, because you didn't give him the knowledge of the Most High, how to deal with her mind. So now your son is treating the women with no wisdom and understanding. They hate us for that. In return, they want to go to every other nation, or they just want to live the life of a harlot. Right? So they're destroyed. The family's destroyed because the man hasn't stepped up. And that's why we have to step up as men to teach our nation. Y'all get that? Go to Deuteronomy 14:2. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm going to the New Testament. That way when you're out there in the streets and you're telling them, I learned I was an Israelite. Oh, really? Well, it doesn't matter. You're spiritual. Nah. Paul said, according to the flesh. He didn't say you were spiritual Israelites. He said that the flesh were Israelites. See, they get it mixed up when it says a Jew is one inwardly. They don't understand what Paul was saying. When he said a Jew is one inwardly, that means right. You can be an Israelite, but you still have to act like an Israelite. You understand? It don't mean that you can be a Jew if you're a Chinese man. It don't mean that. So read that. Read where you at.
Deuteronomy 14:2.
Go ahead.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So the Israelites are a holy people. The Most High chose the black man, the Hispanic man, the Puerto Rican, the Native American, the North American Indian, the West Indian, the Haitian. He chose you to be a holy people. Not in holy as in your socks are holy, because we know that's holy. We know your pockets are holy because you broke. Because you got to work hard in society. You got to suffer in this kingdom. We know those are holy. But we're talking about holy as in righteous. Go ahead.
And the Lord has chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself.
Yeah, Israel's a peculiar people, man. We're special. He said we all come from all different shades of brown, so don't get caught up on like the darker, you're not an Israelite if you're this dark. That's a lie. It doesn't matter. We're peculiar. We all derive from different colors, you know what I mean, and different qualities that we have that makes us shine before all nations. Yeah.
What if you are like two different nations? Like a person that's Chinese and black, but their dad Chinese, but their dad black.
Biblically, that's not possible. Biblically, your nationality was determined by your father. So I always use this analogy. It's the most simple one. If you take an apple seed and plant it in a grape field, is it going to somehow merge with a grape? Only if it's genetically modified, right? Okay, so but you plant a banana seed in a banana field, what is it? Yeah, you plant that same banana in an apple field, what is it? Right? That's the seed. The man, he puts the sperm in the woman. That's the seed like you put in the earth. Same thing. You understand? That's why they even show you in science. You learn that in, probably, what, 5th grade now? You know what I mean? Learning about sex, how the sperm goes to the egg, and then the egg, it only gets one out of all those sperms, right? All of that semen that's driving to that egg, only one enters, and then the egg nourishes it. It doesn't mean that the woman's nothing. It means that she does what the earth does. She nourishes the seed. But that sperm is in that man. That was from you. That's it takes on traits of the woman. Yes, it takes on different things, but your nationality, your identity is determined by your father. Okay? So it's not like the white man said, well, I'm half Asian, half Samoan, half white. You're not a dog. That's a dog. You understand? You put different dogs together. We're not that, bro. Your nationality determines from your ancestors. How do we know that? Because when you go through the Bible always said Abraham had Isaac. Isaac had Jacob. Get it? What do you get? Did Abraham have Isaac? No. Abraham didn't have no babies, and Isaac didn't have no babies. But why does it mention the name of the man only? Because that nationality is determined by the man. See, it doesn't mean the woman is less important. It's just that's how the Most High created the earth. He created the seed for it to bring forth itself. You understand? So, it's just to show you that there's no, like the white man told us. So, you are what your father is. Your father is what his father is. His father is what his father is. All the way back to you coming back to the children of Israel. So, if you're a Native American, then your father goes back to the tribe of whatever, if he was the tribe of Gad, right? Or the North American Indians. Then you got the Taínos, the Boricuas, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, right? If your father's black, he's going to go back, all the way back to Christ of the tribe of Judah, right? That's how it works. You understand? It all goes back to the men, those 12 tribes in the scriptures. You understand that, sis? So you are what your father is. So if your mom is Chinese, you're still an Israelite if your dad is of the nation of Israel. Okay? You know, and we don't get too caught up. We're not saying go get your DNA test or nothing like that. We're not saying that. But, you know, for the most part, if you know 3 generations back who you are, then that's who you are. You know what I mean? If your father was white down the road, that's who you are. You know what I mean? Your slave master slept with raped this person. A lot of Israelites are going to find that out about themselves. But for the most part, you know what I mean? You know who you are. You know your identity goes back to the nation of Israel. Then that's what nation you are. Yeah, what you was going to say, sister?
No, I was just gonna say even on what you're saying about the father part. Even in the Bible, it says that say Abraham begat. It has the names of the kids that he begat, even though it doesn't say who his wife was or who his mother was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob. You know, begat is a strong word when you look at it. To bring forth. You know what I mean? So you see it right there if you look, but once again, we don't study that way. You know what I mean? We've been just told what religions tell us. So we'll go over that too. So I mean, it's basic. You go back to Genesis, you know, about the seed. It said the seed is in itself. Then you go to all these chapters about the lineages, and you see that why the Most High spoke the way He did in the Scriptures. All right. So let's go back to the point. Where you at?
Psalms chapter 147, verse 19 and verse 20.
Okay.
That's just to go with the, because this is showing you also in the Old Testament, as well as where Paul was talking from on his standpoint, talking about his kinsmen according to the flesh, right? This is showing you who the Most High's people are. Psalms chapter 147, verse 19 and verse 20.
Psalms chapter 147, verse 19.
Now, if you would give me a con, once you got it? All right, con, sir, to the new brothers. Con means yes, and if you hear him say la'ah, that means no or not so. All right, that's our, it's in Hebrew. All right. So you guys got it? Read that.
Psalms chapter 147, verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob.
Now, what's his word?
Scripture.
The what?
Scripture.
It's the scriptures, right? He showed his word unto Jacob. Jacob is another word for Israel, for his people. All right? Read.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Read it again.
He showed his word unto Jacob. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
He showed his word and his testimonies only unto Israel. You see that? Read.
He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments,
Stop. Read it again from the first precept.
Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation.
It said he didn't deal with any other nations. The whole world didn't have his law, statutes, and commandments. He only showed his laws and statutes unto Jacob, right? His word unto Israel, right? He didn't do it with any other nations. So when everybody else says, oh yeah, we're all Hebrew Israelites spiritually, inwardly, no, we're not. This is showing you two things. One, that the Most High only has a set number of people, and two, that he's biased. He has favoritism. But that can't be my God. That can't be my Lord, my personal Lord and Savior, right? But it's in writing, right? It's showing you right here. Read.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
So they've never known. The only reason why they got it now is because Israel is as a speckled bird and we're scattered throughout the world. You see that?
Come on.
So in order for the Most High's word not to go out void, we have to go everywhere. We have to go in the byways and in the highways. We have to go from state to country teaching this word, teaching who we are.
Right. Go. So, did we read that Deuteronomy 14:2? Yeah. Go to Deuteronomy 7:6.
Deuteronomy
Yeah, just.
chapter 7, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself,
Go ahead.
above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So he chose us to be above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Y'all see that, right? That's a special. Think about that, man. Think about that. He chose you to be above all people upon the face of the earth. Hey, listen. Hey, put him in the back. Put him in the back over there. You gotta stop carrying that guy around. He's about 30. Go ahead.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor chose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. Verse 8.
Right. So you got that, right? Brother, was it Angel? You got that, right? You see that so far? I mean, did you have any questions on that so far?
No, not.
Not yet? I mean, if you do, brother, feel free, raise your hand. I'm just touching on it, just touching on the basics. Shalom, man. I'm just touching on the basics. That way, it can spark your brain, and if you have any questions along the way, just feel free to ask, all right? And anybody got any other questions? Go ahead.
I'm just having a little trouble following on the Bible.
Okay, yeah, because the brother's supposed to be sitting next to you. Listen, go help him. Go sit next to him, Lakma. That way you can help him get those scriptures and everything. Sorry about that. Sometimes we be moving so fast, man. No, all right. He'll help you out over there. And then I want you to go to and I'm not going to go through the whole chapter, but I'm going to go through Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. But this is, you know, when you come to think of the Israelites, the only thing outside of the evidence of historical evidence that we have, Deuteronomy 28 is what we found and what we base knowing who the Israelites are, right? So I got to touch on a little bit for you here, and then give me let's see if we can pull out those lost tribes, promised lands. We can get those, you know, give them a little history. Mine is back there, right there. That lost tribes, promised land. Give me that. Give me that hot island, Española. Give me those. All right. So this is, you know, I'm just gonna go through. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but this is a good refresh for y'all, man. That want to explain and want to teach somebody. Y'all take notes. I know y'all heard it before, but you got to be able to relay the message. Look for it on those pages in there. All right, so go to Deuteronomy. What we're going to do is just touch on a few of Deuteronomy. I want you to go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Right.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right. So, and this is what's your name again, bro? Chris. Right. This for you too, Chris, because I know you're new, and we didn't get a chance to hit it the other day. So this is for Chris and Andrew. Read that Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and the 15th verse. So how do we know? What do the Israelites stand on, knowing that we're the children of Israel? How do we know it's not those people over there in Israel, right? Well, before we go to Deuteronomy, go to Revelation 2:9, go to Revelations 3:9, go to Zechariah 9:6, I think it is. All right. Go to Revelations 2:9 and 3:9. I'm saying them, write them down, and then we're going to go to them. Revelations 2:9 and 3:9.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9.
Right. Revelations 2:9. Help them out reading too, all right? Revelations 2:9, 3:9, and then we're going to go to Zechariah. Is that it? Zechariah 9:6? Zechariah 9, verse 6. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9.
Go ahead.
I know thy work and tribulation.
Well, one thing of dealing with the true Jews, the true Hebrew Israelites, the true Jews are working. We don't own the world's wealth. We don't own a lot of the movie industry, the diamond district, the jewelry industry, Hollywood. We don't own that. So when you talk about, I want you to think about this. When you think about poor, not having, do you think about the so-called Jews? You can't, because they own a lot of the world's wealth, right? The Facebooks, the Googles, right? The Steins and the Burgers, right? They own a lot of the world's wealth. So when you come to Revelation 2:9 and 3:9, what's supposed to happen is you ask yourself, are the true Jews in poverty, or are they rich? You understand? So read it one more time.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
He says, I know the filthy and wicked act which them which say they are Jews. Now, you're just learning that you're a Jew, an Israelite. You're just barely learning that in 2016. You never went around claiming you was a Jew until you learned your true identity. Who was the ones that lived their life saying they were Jews? These people in that land. But it says they are what?
They are, and are not,
right?
But are the synagogue of Satan.
Right. It says they are not. Right. Read it one more time, Mike.
Verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Right. He says he knows the work and tribulation and poverty of the true Jews. The work and tribulation and poorness of the true Jews. He sees how we have to work as a nation. How your mama worked, your mama worked, right? And they still working, old as hell.
Yeah.
Right? Why? Because that's the poverty we've been put in due to us disobeying the commandments of God. So, yeah, we going on the white man, but really, is it the white man's fault? No, it's your fault. We going on them, yeah, but it's your fault. So you know why we do that here? Because our people too lazy to stand up and face the responsibility they have to stand for. We know the white man can rape, rob, murder, pillage, lie, corrupt, deceived you, put a false name on you, said he's Christ, said he's God, but we know that. But what have you done? You've indulged yourself in the lies of the so-called white man in America, Babylon. You've pushed yourself and you've loved it. So yeah, while you throwing stones, and he's going to get the big stone at him, but you got to look at yourself to get yourself right. Y'all get that? So he knows the poverty. He knows our hurt. Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
But we're rich. Why? Because Paul said it himself. You have the adoption, the covenants, the glory, the law, the service is to you. That's what makes you great. The Most High chose you out of all nations to be a representation of Him. That's what makes us a beautiful people. See? Now you lazy niggas are thinking like, I just want to get high. You niggas talking for too much work. Yeah, ain't covenants, giving it the law. Just pass me the blunt, nigga.
I gotta do some more work after some work.
Yeah. Because this service is holy, true, pure. This is what's going to lead your family. All the hurt and pain comes to you doing the service of the wicked. Right? That you in pain and suffering.
God.
Right? And you doing service to them. You go and work for that corporation, you make $20 an hour. Yay! I make $20 an hour. You feel like you achieved something. Right? But you go make them, you're making $20 an hour, you're making them $1,000 an hour. And they're sending you home like, bye, bye, Negro. Bye. And when I mean Negro, I mean you're a Spanish-speaking nigga, a tree nigga, a nigga, it don't matter. To you, you are a nigga. You understand? They look at you as the dumb, the stupid, the ignorant. Why? Because that's how you act. We're the only people that walks around pissing on our own women, killing our own people, you know what I mean, without any discretion. You know what I mean? We the ones that don't have no true love for our own people. Go ahead, read on.
But I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews
Go ahead.
and are not,
Go ahead.
but are the synagogues of Satan.
Synagogue means house. So they're the house of Satan. Go to Revelations 3:9.
Revelations chapter 3, verse 9.
Revelations 3:9. Read that.
Revelations 3 and 9.
Go ahead.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan,
Go ahead.
which say they are Jews and are not.
Yeah, so even these people that are saying they're Jews, he's going to make them of the house of Satan. Go ahead.
And are not,
Read.
but do lie.
But what?
Do lie.
Right. So let's get it out there. The point of me going here is for what? To show that you don't fit that. You don't fit that. Why? Because you're just barely learning you're the Jew. You're barely learning you're the Hebrew Israelites. Okay? Go to Zechariah 9, verse 6. Zechariah 9, verse 6.
Zechariah chapter 9, verse 6.
Zechariah 9 and 6. Let's go.
Zechariah chapter 9, verse 6.
Go ahead.
And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
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 So who's in Ashdod?
A bastard.
Right. It's not us. You understand? Our people are not in Ashdod. They're not in Israel. They're not in the homeland. Who's over there is a bastard. Not the children of Israel. Go ahead.
And I will cut off the pride of the Philistines.
Yeah, you got every other nation over there except Israelites. Okay? So go from there. Let's find out what happened. Go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Shalom, sister. All right. Help the sister out, get her Bible. Go ahead, read that.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 15.
Go ahead.
But it shall come to pass.
So this is to you, Chris and Angel. This is how we know. This is biblically how you're going to be able to prove who you are. So when you go home, you're going to read the whole chapter, Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Well, we're going to start at the 15th verse. Go ahead.
But it shall come to pass.
Go ahead.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Go ahead.
to observe and do all his commandments.
We just read that in Baruch 4:1. He said, if we abide by the commandments, we will come to life, but such as leave it will die. Right? He's going to tell us. He's going to expound on that point. Go ahead.
And his statutes.
And his statutes. Go ahead.
Which I command thee this day.
Go ahead.
That all these curses shall come upon thee.
So how do we know who the Israelites are? Because we're going to know by the signs and by the curses. Like I said, I'm not going to go over the whole chapter. I'm going to touch on it for them. And then we'll move on to the next questions. Okay, go ahead.
And overtake thee.
So all these curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, was going to come on us and overtake us. So this is how we know who the children of Israel are. Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
Cursed shall thy be in the city, and cursed shall thy be in the field.
So anywhere you go in any city throughout the world, right? Who are you known as? A nigga. The border jumper, the water beetle, right? The porch monkey, the tree niggas. You know, I keep bringing that up. That new movie, The Revenant, called the Native Americans. He called them a tree nigga. Yeah, you gotta catch it. It was when they were walking through the dead bodies. They were walking through there. They were talking about the Apaches or one of the native tribes. They were like, yeah, these tree niggas always stealing. That's what he said. He said The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta listen to it, man.
When they built those forts, is that what they
Nah. They were coming through the city and people were dead. and he goes down and picks up something. He's like, these street niggas are always stealing. I'm like, ain't that a trip? Like, they're stealing? But that's where when we go through, if you go to any country, listen, if you're dark skinned, you go to Africa, they know you as a cotton picker. You know what I mean? They know you're not the same nation. The Africans know that.
This nigga.
Yeah. They know you're not an Israelite, man. They know they're not an Israelite. You're not African. They know that. You understand? You go through any country and city throughout the world. Why is it? Because I'm saying because God has said the curses will follow you anywhere you will go. So you got brothers that try to run to Dimona in Israel. The heathen are in our land. They're still looking at them like, no, you guys ain't the chosen. We're gonna take your land. We're gonna take your identity, right? You're the niggas. That's who you are. In every movie, whether it's Django, whether it's the movie I just said, The Race, whether it's The Butler, whether it's 12 Years of a Slave, all these movies is to do what? Remind you, settle down, nigger. Settle down, know your place. Right? Know your place, boy. That's what it is. And that's why when those cops, I seen that image on World Star just the other day, he had this 18-year-old kid just locked up on the car and just got him by the neck. And you know what that's showing? That power that the white man got over us. Why though? Because God said that because you disobeyed the commandments of God, you're going to get treated like this. You want to act like a nigga? Just like you tell your kids, oh, you want to act like a badass? Okay, I'm going to treat you like one, right? And he whoops your butt, right? Well, that's what the Most High did, right? Is that frankincense or sage? Put some more frankincense on there. If it starts messing with their nose, we'll turn it off. That's just incense, y'all. All right, so y'all get that, right? Okay, read on. So the field, anywhere we go in the world, you try to go to Europe, France, Italy. You know, I always ask Shawashina, because you've been out there in those countries. And the thing is that the darker, the more they hate you. You know what I mean? So that hate is inbred in the nations. Why? That's why they tell them, listen, don't let them sleep with your daughter. Don't marry them. Why? Because they are the less species. They treat us like we're less. Why? Because we disobeyed the commandments of God. He said, okay, I'm going to take all your wisdom from you. All your intellect from you. You understand? That's why as a man, we don't know how to run a country, run a military, run our family. We don't even know how to put up with a woman that runs her mouth too much and show her how to shut down and listen and humble her. We're just like, you know what, shalom, bye. You know what I mean? I'm not going to deal with you. On to the next one. Because we don't have the wisdom, the intellect, and the patience. Because we don't have this wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah, just like the mamas that they had some moms that came out with, they talk about the glasses of the skin colors, the curves.
Bear that mic. I can't hear you. Y'all talk low, and I want everybody to hear you. You can hold it and then pass it from you. Go ahead.
No, what I was saying is that they had some Mormons that came.
Mormons?
Yeah, I guess they came on like the bike and all like that.
Right.
And they told me that like being dark race of the skin color.
Yeah, it's a curse. Yeah, it's a curse. That's what they believe.
Yeah.
But that's why when you go back to the scriptures, you find out that, first of all, Adam was dark-skinned, right? All nations were dark-skinned, you understand? And then the so-called white man came. That's why they try to do that.
And in actuality, according to the scriptures, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
To be light-skinned, to be that light-skinned, to look like the one dead, was the curse.
Yeah, not light-skinned. You got to be careful, because I'm light-skinned. No, because we were different shades of brown.
Right.
It wasn't light skin. It was that leprosy.
Right.
You know that. No pigment. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It was a curse according to the scriptures. So read on there.
Verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
So when you look at the basket, your store, your economy. The black man, the Hispanic man, the Israelite man, we don't have an economy. We don't even have basic unity in our communities. Why do you think so many of our mom and pop stores come up and they go down? But the Chinese man right here, he came all the way from China and he had put the filthiest food. You walk in there and it smells like crawfish booty hole. You go to this store right here.
The lotus.
You go in there, right there next to us, it smells like crawfish butthole. And our people in there, going in there eating it like it's like, this is good. They look at their fingers.
Skin, right?
And listen, we don't supposed to eat shrimp, crab, lobsters, oysters, crawfish. You don't supposed to eat that cat. That's the doo-doo eaters of the sea. That's the pork of the sea. So, but our people eating it, they coming out deformed, high blood pressure, high diabetes. Why? Because every nation can come in our community and get rich off of killing us. And we pop up, man, at a hair shop or this shop, and it goes down after 3 or 4 years. Why? Because no unity.
Right.
We got no love. See, that's the curse. The other nations, they got the Jewish community. You know what I mean? You even got the African community.
They go to their people.
Yeah, they go to their people.
Chinatown.
They got Chinatown. They all live in one house. Be unified for 3 or 4 years until everybody get loans and everybody's able to get out and get a business and put it all in. You get us in one house. What happens? You hate each other. You want to kill each other. You know what I mean? You're like, I never want to talk to you again in my life. Why? That's a curse. All due to what? Us disobeying the commandments of the Most High. You know why I keep saying that? Because as you try to blame it on the other nations, I want you to look at you. So that way you can stand the hell up for righteousness. Don't make the nations the crutch. Don't make the white man the crutch. You know what I mean? I say that because I got people all the time telling me, oh, brother, the truth, man, the Most High, the white man's the devil. I'm like, yeah, well, what are you doing, huh? It's like, what are you doing? You're not doing nothing. You're over there sitting on your ass. You know what I mean? You don't want to do nothing, so you want to just learn online. You know what I mean? You get these cats that just want to have knowledge. Brother, we're supposed to get this to teach. We're supposed to get this to wake our people up so they won't be doing that. You know what I mean? So it's just beyond knowledge. But remember why the curses are on us. Disobedience. Go ahead.
Verse 18.
Curse
shall be the fruit of thy body.
Yeah, I mean, look at our kids. They are a product of you. The fruit of your body, they're a product of you. You know what I mean? My kids were saying it the same way. They go to the soccer thing, and this little girl, maybe 7 or 8, she got tights on, looked like an exact twin of her mama. And my kids are like, you know, because they think tights are underclothes. You know, leggings are underclothes pants. So when they see that, people walking around with that, they're like, what is wrong with her? And then look over at mom. She got her esophagus showing through her butt. And then the 7-year-old girl got, you know what I mean, her brain showing through her. Why? Because mom is teaching her the same thing. Then you go to YouTube and you see what? You see the little 12-year-old kid with his pants down, his hat backward, 50 chains on with a blunt in his mouth. Why? Because OG dummy, his father, this nigga have no sense. This is what happens when we disobey the commandments of the Most High. The Most High said, David said, I was as a beast before you. And that's how we are. We are like beasts as we continue in that, right? But as we get this knowledge, we come back to light and righteousness. We're able to be men and women of wisdom and understanding. Go ahead, read on.
And the fruit of our land.
Right. So the fruit of our body, the fruit of our land, we know we don't got no land. You didn't get no 40 acres of review. If you're a Native American, you got shoved into a damn corner. And then they were like, oh yeah, I'm third of Native American. They set up the casinos on your land. Because a lot of those Native Americans over there are white. They're not even real Native Americans. Turn that off. Yeah, you understand that? So this is the curses, man. Now put it up to the other nations. Do you go through the Jewish community, they sagging their pants? You niggas got gold fronts and like, nigga, don't even look at me, I robbed you for those Jordans, nigga. Right? You see that? You see that in the Jewish communities? Huh? Hell no. You see them in order. They got their kids, they got their wives, right? And they in order. They got their schools in order. Right? Us, we get the damn chitlins.
Right.
In every aspect. You get the food, it's like, remember, what was it? It was the butler. They came out, they give you the damn chitlins, all the disgusting and the filthy foods. And the slop of everything. You're going to get the less education. You're going to get the less knowledge. We're going to treat you like the less educated ones. And that's what we've been. So this is why we have to educate ourselves on every level. Y'all get that? You have to know this. You have to understand this. You have to know your history, your identity. You have to understand spiritually where you sit and where you're at. That's how you're going to be able to move forward in the spirit. Go ahead.
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Cursed shall thy be when thou comest in.
Right, so we're cursed when we come in. Go ahead.
And cursed shall thy be when thou goest out.
Yeah, you know, whether you're Tupac or Prince, guess what? He went out as a curse. You know what I mean? You didn't go out. You didn't take nothing with you. You didn't make a name. What was your name? You was sexy? Huh? That's your name? That's how you went out? You didn't go out with nothing. Why? Because you didn't have no wisdom. What did he do for his people? Right? Nothing. Tupac, Biggie, Michael Jackson. What did they do? Right? Everybody want to claim they were enlightened right when they're dead. They all of a sudden were trying to drop too. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. Yeah, y'all want to, I know everybody claims the Illuminati killed Michael Jackson and Prince. No, these niggas was a victim to the game. They were a victim of the curses. Right. Yeah, they died just like just like Marvin Gaye, a victim. You know what I mean? A victim to drugs and liquor and alcohol, all the old school 70s and 80s. They were victims, man. Why? Because they didn't have no wisdom, knowledge, and understanding back then. That was the height of it. Most High stripped them back then, and they went into all those things and corrupted themselves, destroyed themselves, and now we have our new generation doing the same thing. Those are the curses. You was gonna say something? Go ahead, read on.
Jumping down to verse 23.
Go ahead.
And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass.
Right.
And the earth that is under thy shall be iron.
Right. That is under thee shall be iron. So what comes from the heaven? What comes from the heaven? Rain. Right? What comes from the earth? Your blessing, your food. Right? And I like how he brought it out in the street speaking. Then, when you want to look at another level, when you go to jail, what do you got over you? Iron. What do you got under you? Brass. You're not going nowhere. The Most High, every way, because you disobeyed, you're enclosed and captive. That's what happens when we disobey the Creator. All right, I'm going to jump around, because like I said, we're not going to go through all this. You're going to jump over to verse 32.
Verse 32.
Go ahead.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Right, and listen, this doesn't only happen to the so-called Negroes. This happened to the Native Americans, or you want to call yourself Aztecs, Mayans, Incas, Toltecs. What else? Who else I forget? Boricua, Taino Indians. It happened to them. Their kids were given to another people. The slave master would come over here to America, take those kids, man, and either kill them or make them slaves. Kill the parents, make the kids slaves, or sex slaves. That was the curse. All the way to slavery, right? To the black man on the slave markets. You know what I mean? You hear Kizzy crying when they were separated, little Kizzy, huh? When she was crying because they had to be separated. What was that again on Roots? Why? Because that was the conditions of slavery. Go ahead.
And thy eyes shall look and fell with longing for them all the day long.
And that's how we do now, even modern. You say, well, how do these curses identify us today? I mean, look at it. Every day you wake up in the morning, you got to go to job. By the time you get home, you're too tired to even talk to your child. They've been raised by stupid-ass TV, rap, or R&B, right? Okay. Then you want to know why they're having sex at 12 years old behind your back. You know what I mean? Why? Because they started at a young age. You didn't raise them with wisdom. You know what I mean? You didn't raise them with knowledge and understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a school teacher tell me, she said, one thing you got to pay attention to is from the time you have a child and is able to learn, it goes into a school system. And it becomes a part of the system.
Yeah.
So you got daycare, then you got pre-K, then you got first grade, second grade,
mm-hmm.
and you got all the way up to high school. Then from high school, you you go into junior college. Then from junior college, you go into college. So by the time you get out, your whole life has been a program. And that's all we've been accustomed to. And they got us beat down so bad that that's what we look forward to, some type of program.
Right. Yes, sir. And the thing is that as we're made aware of this, then we can start teaching our kids, man, and talking to them and sacrificing your life. You know what I mean? Because even us in the truth, we be busy as heck to where, you know, the kids still got to go to school. I mean, we had it at one time where we had daycare. I mean, we had homeschooling. You know, we had to change it up because, you know, the situation changed with the sisters. But you got to take the time out. Take the time out and communicate with your kids. Break that mentality down. We got homeschool here on Sundays for the kids, where all the parents get together. Last Sunday, they talked about homosexuality, and they went through the scriptures and the definition of effeminate to show the kids that in the Bible, it says God doesn't like an effeminate man. And just, you know, it wasn't too much. It was just, what was it, about an hour, sis? You know, and they take them over it, explain to the kids why. Because they're going to go to a school that has bathrooms for, you know, tranny bathrooms. You know what I mean? If you don't do it, if you're not teaching them, bro, they're going to get caught up. They're going to get somebody in there and they're going to be looking at them. And then they're going to touch their pee-pee. And then if that demon's on your kid, he's going to touch his pee-pee. So you got to know, let me teach my kids this wisdom. Let me wake them up because it's going to be filthy. Go ahead.
Joel 3:3. That was to go with the scripture that we're at right now. Joel chapter 3 and verse 3. Because I'm going to read it in Deuteronomy. It said in Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 32. It says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand. So when our kids got sold into this slavery, you know what I mean? If you break that down to modern day times, there's nothing you can do. You want to keep your kids at home, and and Esau get a word that you got kids staying at home and not coming to their system, they'll take them away from you.
Yeah, Texas is kind of good with homeschooling though. They're like probably one of the only states, man, that's really good, easy with homeschooling. You don't have to have anything, but there's a lot of cities that you can't keep your kids home.
Right.
Yeah, you can't keep them home or else, man, they'll lock you up. You know, or if they do in other cities, it's real strict to where you got a lot to answer for. Texas is kind of the easiest state to do homeschooling.
Correct.
Yeah, but either way it go, you know, what do you have to, you know, it's still the same thing, you know. That's why with the homeschooling we had, it was 90% Israelite understanding, and then 10% Americanized.
Exactly.
You weren't gonna learn the Pledge of Allegiance.
No.
You know what I mean? You weren't gonna learn that. You know, and then when we did teach you, you do teach the history to the kids, you teach them and show them the lie and the truth.
Right.
They're not doing that in the schools. You know?
Right. Where we at?
Joel chapter 3 verse 3.
Right.
And they have cast lots for my people.
So they bid on our people. You understand? We stood in the what was it called?
The auction block.
The auction block, right? Black Wall Street, where they sold black Negroes, helpless, right? They sold children, men and women, boys and girls. They cast lots for my people. Whose people? The Most High's people. Read.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
They gave a boy for a what?
Harlot.
This is how they valued us.
Yeah, listen, now, let's bring it back to the so-called Jews. Did this ever happen to them? They burnt them up, yeah. But did they rape their boys? Did they take them and sell them into slavery? Nah. Hitler was just like, we're going to get rid of all you. We're going to burn you the hell up.
He said, you want to be black? Okay, let's put you in the oven and make you black.
Yeah, exactly, because Hitler knew, man. That movie, man, with Jesse Owens, that was a good movie, man, because this dude, he beat everybody. He went over there, man. He was a representation of America. But I know they hated him. There's like, this nigga, he's winning everything. He was the fastest man. You know what I mean? There was another Judite under him that was faster. He went over to Germany, and he beat the German cat that was over there the fastest in Europe. You know what I mean? This is how powerful we are, and we still ignorant as hell.
Right.
You understand? You got to see that, man. Now, how much more as we come in this power and unity and brotherhood and righteousness and the love of Christ? We're gonna be untouchable, man. It's gonna be untouchable. Go ahead.
Come on, we're kings and priests of the world. We're a royal priesthood to the world, right? From the Most High, and we get sold as a harlot. We get sold. Our children get sold to be bed warmers.
Oh man.
You see that? Read.
And so they girl for wine.
And they sold a what?
Girl for wine.
They sold a little girl for wine. That's your little princess right there. That's a future Sarah.
Yeah, that's why they got this. What's the one movie with Kevin Costner? Dang. Yeah, the little mixed girl. Well, they had it in Revenant too. The white man was with what?
His big son.
His big son, which was he had a little Native American woman. That child is an Edomite. Because he slept with that woman. And that's what they did. They rape our women. They take our women, sleep with them. You know what I mean? You think just because they dark skinned, they're Israelites. Nah. They got that little dark skin from their mama, but their father is of Esau. You understand? So that's why you can't judge by sight. You got to judge by the spirit. Go ahead. You finish that?
Last precept.
That they might drink.
So they sold they sold a boy for a harlot to be a bed warmer, and they sold our women just so they could have some alcohol.
Wow. Yeah. Well, a harlot is a whore, brother. They were.
Just being PG with it.
No. That a harlot is a whore. So, but they sold a boy for a whore. So, what were they doing? These Greeks and these Romans, these so-called white people, they were having these little sex orgies, just like they're doing now with little boys, man. With our boys. Why do you think they're doing it now? Why do you think they boast when they see the blacks and Hispanics walking around on YouTube doing the Beyonce, a Beyonce new dance with pumps, with lipstick on? Because that's what they like. It's some more nice, young, tender chocolate caramel boys they can put their little Peters in. Yeah.
And a good movie for you to check that out in is Goodbye Uncle Tom. Because they actually have a scene where they put them in gold dust and silver dust and put them on stage and they make them dance while they bid on it. They dress them up in jewelry. That's why when you pay attention to the way they allow us to dress up, they give us this Gucci and this all these homosexual designers, and you chase that homosexual spirit. Because Gucci and Versace, these were all homosexual Caucasian men.
Yeah.
And then you go out and pay $100,000 for an outfit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you go
the Ellen DeGeneres outfit, the transgender outfit to look like Ellen. And that's what the boys and the girls are wearing.
And then when you see them in the club, when you see them in public, right? You got the niggas trying to show out another nigga. Like they checking out your outfit, like
now the skinny jeans.
They got dressed up for your occasion to outdo you.
I'm telling you, you go to the gym, bro. These niggas is like 7 feet tall, wearing skinny jeans. I was looking at this. He goes into the vitamin. He actually works at the vitamin shop. This nigga is like huge. He bent over. He looked like a woman. Cause he got these sweats. That it's like, dude, a grown ass man, looking like a woman, sad. And these women like that. These women like that, man. It's sad. Yeah.
And what's crazy, even like say Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret isn't made by a woman. The founder is actually a man.
Really?
The founder is a man. His name is like Roy something.
Right. It's probably some old Roy Spades. He's probably some old ass white man. Let's go ahead. Let's jump back. Go to Deuteronomy 20 verse 43. Let's go through this real quick because I don't want to take the whole class on this. But I do want to edify our brother Angel and his brother Chris right here. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43.
Go ahead.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
The black man, Hispanic man built America. Has built America. But every other nation comes over here and what? Flourishes 10 times more. Flourishes, man. In their community, in their nation. Or Roy Raven. Wow. Yeah, you got it right there. Roy Spades Raymond. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, Victoria's Secret. But y'all see that? Every nation gets high above us. And we're what? The niggas, the spicks, the spooks. The only time they want to talk about you is what? When they want your vote. Now they start to act black. They start to act Hispanic. They speak that very bad Spanish. You know what I mean? Like Ariel speaks. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That Americanized Spaniola. You know what I mean? I didn't mess with you, man. No, but you know what I mean? They do that, and then they try to win your vote. That's the only time. Otherwise, you niggas need to be put out of your misery. You niggas need to get back across the border. They don't know you. You're gonna get very low. They're gonna get very high. Go ahead, read on.
And thou shalt come down very low.
Go ahead.
Verse 54.
Go ahead.
Moreover.
No, verse 44. Read down.
Oh, verse 44.
Go ahead.
He shall lend to thee.
Yeah, where's the black banks? Huh? You can go to the Chinese bank. We live close to the Chinese block. They own the whole few miles.
5 miles.
5 miles. They got clubs. They got businesses. They got banks. They got the massage parlors, aka the hooker spots. They got all that. Right?
All that.
Where you come, where's ours? Where's our bank at? You know what I mean? Huh? What's that? Yeah, chase you away. Nigga, you thought you was gonna get along, we gonna chase you away. Right? There's no such thing. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not lend to them.
Yeah, because you're broke, because you don't got no money. That's why you're like crabs in a barrel, man. You know, you're trying to pull everybody down by any means necessary. And that's the destroyed ways. That's why he said, my people destroy for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will reject you. It's not that you don't have the knowledge, you can't have the knowledge. It's when you get the knowledge, what happens? Oh, you know, I'm good with all that, brother. You know what I mean? Yeah, black power, brother. Hebrew Israelite. Let me go home, sit with my woman, be on my ass. What about all the kids you done destroyed? What about all the women's over in your 20s and 30s you done shitted on and that you need to make up for to teach them? What about that? You know what I mean? Nobody thinks about that. What you did at your young age, man, and all the sins you committed. It's time for you to pay back. Do something for your people now. Y'all people don't want to hear that. They want to hear, man, you know, I just come to Bible school, nigga, learn my Bible, and I'm good. That ain't going to save you. Christ said, put down your life. You understand? Y'all always got to hear that, because that's what it is. He said when he comes, he wants to find you doing this. You understand? If any man love father, mother, brother, sister more than me is not worthy of me. That's what he said. That's in there. You understand that? Go ahead, read.
He shall be the head,
and
thou shalt be the tail.
And that's what we are. We're the tail. Read.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee.
Go ahead.
And shall pursue
thee. They what?
Pursue thee.
They what?
Pursue thee.
Yeah, you get money like Lil Wayne. Guess what? You an ignorant nigga still, just rich. Right. Why? Because you don't got no wisdom and knowledge. So you get money, you still what? A whoremonger, a adulteress, a murderer, a killer, a thief. You still hate your people. Nigga, I gotta get mine. You can't have no, do you not know if just the black community and the Hispanic community came together and said, listen, we're gonna start our own band. Done. Imagine if the blacks, this is 2 tribes. Just imagine if the blacks and Hispanics said, listen, we're not working 1-2 days out of the year. We're going to shut down the damn country. But there's no unity. Some of you love NASA's booty hole. So there's no unity.
Thank you, sir. Can I have a gun?
Yeah, they're like, nah, I got it. You going to feed my kids? They get with that like, you go like life is all just about 1 or 2 days of bread. You understand? That's not what life's about only. Like you gonna miss out on some food in America. If you don't eat in America, you're sad. Come on, man. You can get food anywhere. There's a bum that stands on our corner makes about $1,000 a day. How the hell are you gonna be broke in America? You understand? How you gonna be broke in America, man? But that's our mentality. Our mentality is like somehow we're going to be left out there. Well, if you put your trust in God, He's going to fend for you. You understand? He's got it. When everything's good, who bless you?
Most High.
When everything's bad, who bless you?
Most High.
That's the way it should be, but that's not the way you think. You're in panic mode. Go ahead, read.
And overtake thee.
Go ahead.
Till thou be destroyed.
Till thou what?
Be
The
destroyed.
Most High said He's going to overtake you till you be destroyed. Go ahead.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Go ahead.
to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded this day.
Go ahead.
Which he commanded thee.
Go ahead.
Verse 46.
Uh-huh.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So, you want to know what a red light is? You look at the red light, right? You want to know what the no danger zone is? Or the danger zone is? The sign is there, right? You want to know who the Israelites are? Look at all the signs. Do they fit the other nations? Do they fit the so-called Jews? No. They fit you. Go ahead.
And for a wonder.
Go ahead. And for a wonder. And because it is a wonder. It is a great revealing eye-opener to know who you are. No, you're not a nigga. No, you're not a spick. No, you're not a coon. No, you're not a wetback. No, you're not a Negro. No, you're not Mexican, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Dominican. You're the chosen people of God. That's the eye-opener. That's the wonder that we don't get. We don't care for. Go ahead.
And upon thy seed forever.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's been like that over a generation, over and over. You've been taught you're black, and you told your kids. You've been taught you're Hispanic. Kids know that, right? And it will pass on until you stop it. Go ahead.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
With what?
Joyfulness.
With what?
Joyfulness.
When you hear you an Israelite, you're supposed to have what?
Joy.
Yeah, you don't have no joy. A lot of our people, man, like, I gotta change this. I gotta change this. I can't eat pork no more. I can't celebrate Christmas. I can't get hot. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, I mean, Pastor, give me more money. I go to him one day a week, and I'm good. Y'all want too much. It ain't what we want. You better follow these commandments. These are life. This is what's going to bring you back to life. Not me. The commandments, the laws. Go ahead.
And with gladness of heart.
And with what?
Gladness of heart.
A lot of our people don't have the gladness when they get the laws. They don't have that joy. They're too sad. You understand? But if you look at what cards you've been dealt in life, if you look at your nation, your family, your wife, your children, and you think about other people than yourself, you might actually get a sense of sincerity to think and to see why this is necessary. You understand? This is just beyond your own little greediness and selfishness. It's for your people, your nation, your family, your household. Read.
For the abundance of all things.
So anything, it said, because thou servest the Lord thy God with thy joyfulness and gladness, with gladness and the heart of abundance of all things, we were supposed to go to the Most High God, but we didn't. We're comfortable with master. Go ahead.
Therefore, shalt thou serve thy enemies.
You were going to do what?
Serve thou enemies.
You were going to do what?
Serve thou enemies.
Serve
thine enemies.
Thine enemies. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. Go ahead.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Go ahead.
In hunger.
Right. You want food? Could you now grow your own food? No. You got to buy genetically modified seeds from them. They even got the wraps on your food. So you got to go to them. Go ahead.
In thirst.
Right. You thirst? No, you can't get rainwater. That's against the law. Yep. You got to buy my water.
Can't even drink tap water.
You can't. Yeah, you drink
tap water. You can't drink that.
If you want to commit suicide, drink tap water. Right. Otherwise, yeah, exactly. That's supposedly free. The fluoride infested tap water.
No, it ain't even free because if you don't pay for it, they cut it.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's supposedly free. Go ahead.
In nakedness and in want of all things.
Go ahead.
and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Yeah. In slavery, that's what they did. They put a yoke of iron upon our neck. They put the actual chains and kept us in slavery. Right? Go ahead.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Right. And I already quoted it. Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? So we're going to read out of here, and we're going to read out of here. This is pointing out the 9.5 tribes, what you call the so-called Spanish-speaking tribes. This is called the Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. And guess what? Yes, it is by a white dude, because he translated. Ronald Sanders translated some of these documents when the conquistadors came over here to America and conquered the Native Americans. Okay? It was something that they were seeing when they came over here and studying them. So this is on page 187. All right? This is on page 187. And it's by Ronald Sanders. It's called The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. But it says here, but even if we set the question of his origins aside. So because what it was is Duran, okay, this conquistador, and like a lot of them, even Columbus, coming over to the Americas, they were looking for the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what they were searching for. Because they studied. Remember, history back then wasn't history like now. We, back then, were looking through the Bible for the answers. Now the white man made his story. Now you think that is history, right? It's not. So it says, but even if we set questions of his origins aside, Duran's work suggests that he viewed the Indian dynasty from a perspective influenced by the new Christian experience of his time. Whether he was conscious of this or not, for with increasing frequency and conviction, Duran came to see elements of Judaic character in the old Aztec religion. So when they were when the Aztecs were worshiping, he's seen them worshiping things that what? The Jews worship. So this is what he's seen them worship, though. It's going to go on. And at this first tendency appeared only as a frequent search for Jewish ideologies provoked by Aztec customs. So he's first thinking maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's that, it's similarities, right? It says provoked by Aztecs customs such as the eating of only unleavened bread on certain days of the year. Who does that? The Hebrews, because we eat unleavened bread on the Passover. So this is what they see the Aztecs doing, following the laws of the Bible. They were following their customs. It says, such as eating the only unleavened bread on certain days of the year, the prohibiting of drinking liquids after the eating of certain rutile foods. It says, and the use of baths for purification, which was baptism. We believed in that a lot. That's when they went to Christ and they was like, why don't the apostles wash their hands when they eat like everybody else, right? Why? Because we believed in a lot of purification. It says, in time, this began to seem to Duran like overwhelming evidence that the Indians are indeed descended from the lost tribes of Israel. So, and then he quotes this book and says, and he opens the last of the most important work, The History of the Indies of New Spain. Is this it? The History of the... No, that's another book. That's another book he quoted. The Histories of Indies of New Spain. So that's another book where they're talking about how that the customs of the natives were going back to the Israelites. So not only are we going biblically, a lot of people try to say, oh, you know what, the Mexicans, the Native Americans, no, they're not Israelites. The evidence is here. The facts is here. But you got to keep going through and studying. Where's the next one? You're supposed to open it up. So this is another book. This is The American Indians by James Adair. The History of the American Indians by James Adair. It's another book, and I haven't went through the whole thing in these books, but they give you a lot of information. You know, of course, how they looked at the Indians, but it goes on. It tells you even how it was saying here. Says that they ran to be. There's another one. I got another one in this book. Let me find it here. Right here. Did you find out?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read that one right after this
This is under the arguments number 7 on page 140. It says the festivals, feasts, and religious rites have also a great resemblance to those of the Hebrews. It will be necessary here to take a short view of the principal Jewish feasts and etc. They kept every year and scared feast called a sacred feast called Passover in memory of their deliverance from Egypt. Bondage. 7 days were appointed.
Now remember, this is not what you might think is Judaism. This is our people following the customs back then, you know, in the 1700s.
And this is the history of the North American Indians. I'll read it one more time.
So when you talk about Indians, we're talking about all those tribes. Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, the Toltecs, the West Indians, right? The Taínos, the Boricuas, right? All those Indians. Remember, because those are names that we adopted. You know, a lot of people don't understand that the Indians themselves adopted names. You know, like when you go into the Navajo tribes and you go into the Sioux, but no, Cherokee. The Cherokee, a lot of them, you know, with the Blackfoot, you know, yeah, the Sioux, but these names, like, you know, the Nation of the Blackfoot, they just started adopting these names to themselves. Then the white man came across and added different names to them, right? Right? Then we have our Americanized names. So you see how much far we got lost from our identity? I had another book, man. It was stolen. It's called The Black Indians. That was another one. What else we got in here? We got more?
No,
I got more. Yeah.
I've been actually checking out Christopher Columbus, and when he made his conquest into the Americas, so-called the Americas.
Right.
And it's funny because when you actually read a certain part, it said their arms and their bodies, it said they wore the ornaments which were different fringes on their clothing. It said during their feast days, they painted their faces, and they kept the traditions of the old. So these fringes that we wear and the fringes that the so-called Native Americans wore,
right,
is the same traditions and the same customs because they had the same feast every year.
Right, right.
So it wasn't just sporadic feasts like we were animals.
Right, right.
There was a custom involved in it. And when you go through the notes that actually Christopher Columbus put down, he keeps showing that, yeah, these guys had where they would bring their first fruits. It said they would bring their fruits and they would leave them at an altar and they would leave.
Wow.
And they were talking
wow.
about, yeah, it was talking about how they didn't eat. They wouldn't eat something that, like if a bear killed an antelope, it wouldn't eat it. They wouldn't eat it. Like they already knew these things.
Wow, wow.
You know what I mean? And they actually were teaching Christopher Columbus these things because when they came on the islands, that's what they were doing. They were scavenging because they didn't know how to live off the land. So whatever they could find, whether it was dead or not, that's where the roadkill came from. The terminology of roadkill soup, because these people were actually eating things that animals left behind because they didn't know how to hunt in that environment. So, and that's hot when you actually get into Christopher Columbus and, you know what I'm saying, you start looking at his survival, what he used to survive.
Right. Yeah, he was using the wisdom. All these pilgrims that came over here to America, they were using knowledge from us.
And
then they came
called The Voyage.
They came over here and pillaged every damn thing, the wisdom, the knowledge, stole everything, patented everything, and called it themselves. I have more in here too, but I mean, it basically goes into the same thing. I was looking for the one where they said the Lord our God is one. I thought I had it in here highlighted. But yeah, these are some good books, brother. American Indians by James Adair. Lost Tribes in Promised Lands. Do I got another one there? I thought there was another one. No, there's a skinny one, right? I thought I had another one. But those are just some for your arsenal starting out. You know what I mean? If you really want to read and get into it, yeah. All right, so y'all got any questions on that? Y'all got any questions? Anybody? Okay, so let's jump back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 49.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49.
Go ahead.
It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
Right, as the eagle flieth. Right? So the Most High used the nation, the Greeks, the Romans, all the way to the so-called white man. He used them from the ends of the earth, because that's where they came from. And when you look at the symbol of the so-called white man, his symbol through the Greeks, through the Romans, has been the eagle. Right? And yeah, they stole that, but at the same time, when you go back, even all these Greek and Roman movies, they have that eagle. They have it on their dollar bill. Swiftly, because Alexander the Great conquered swiftly. He was a swift conquering. He's one of the kings that conquered the whole known world within 12 years. He started at 20. I think he finished at 32 or 33. He started at, what is it, 21? No.
28.
What? Nah, he started at 20. It's like, you can double check it, but I think he started at 20 and then he finished at like 32 or 33. But he was a swift conqueror. Okay, go ahead. But double check it. Go ahead.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Because we didn't speak this language. You know, I know you take pride in your English. A lot of our Hispanic brothers and sisters take pride in that Spanglish. But that's the Spaniards. That's their language. That's what they put on us. You know what I mean? When they rape, rob, and murder, they put that language on us, just like they put English on the black man. Go ahead.
A nation of fierce continents.
A what?
Nation of fierce continents.
Go ahead.
Which shall not regard the persons of old, nor show favor to the young.
Yeah, we have a sign back there, man, where we took some inserts out of this one. You can still get them online also, but out of this one book. And it was showing how when the cavalry, when they came over here to America, how they was just blowing these little kids away, man. That they would take part in lynching these kids. I'm talking about you thinking this only happened to the so-called Negroes? Man, they were doing the natives bad. Scalping started with them. Then we said, okay, we took it. It started with the white man. You understand? Then we took it on because that's what they were doing to us. So they didn't regard if you were old, if you were young. They're running through, killing you, murdering you, just like all the other tribes. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 51.
Go ahead.
He shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until he hath destroyed, which also
right. Go ahead.
Which also shall not leave thee.
Right, that's it. Go jump to so y'all can read that. You can finish reading that at home. Let's jump to the main point.
Verse 54.
Yeah, all right, jump to 54. Go ahead.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
Right. So one of the main curses says that the man that was tender amongst you, he didn't mean effeminate. It didn't mean he was walking around in pumps. It meant that he had a good characteristic and a standard about him. You know, back in the days where it was brown pride, black pride, where you had unity in your community. You know what I mean? Not before drugs and crack came in, right? There was unity. There was black power. There was brown pride movements, that were going on. The Native Americans were trying to bring movements. The black man, the Hispanics, they were bringing movements. But now it's hate, it's anger. You know what I mean? Listen, even when you look at the Hispanics, you know what I mean? When you look at Issachar, they got some, I lived in New Mexico for a while. And they got it out there. They got, you got one cat called the Negro. This guy is dark as hell. You know what I mean? But they call him Negro because he's dark as hell like a black man, right? They don't like him because he's too damn dark. Or then they got over here, Weddle. Why? Because he's white like the damn white man, right? They don't like each other. They want to kill each other, right? Or, oh, you from the border, I'm not Mexican. I'm not a Mexican, I'm Hispanic. Nigga, you a Mexican. You know what I mean? They always do that like, I'm American. No. They don't like you either, bro. You know what I mean? And that's the hate. They do it with the so-called black man. Like, that nigga's yellow.
Mulatto.
Yeah, he's mulatto, or he's yellow. He think he cute. He got that good hair, right? That's how they look at us, right? You know what I mean? They don't understand. That's all division. That's all division to keep us divided. So as before that unity was there, his eye is evil towards his brother based on these ideals. Who put that in your head? I tell you, man, that book, see if it's back there. It's called The Black Indian. And it tells you in that book, it tells you how when the white man came over here, he used the Native Americans to be slave hunters. Then he had that remember, now you had the house niggas, then you had the field niggas. Right? So he was doing his job with dividing us from our Native American brothers to dividing us from us. It was all strategically, man, well done. He's a monster. He's a weird science. He's Frankenstein. You understand why? Because he did it very well. He learned down to the T how to keep us divided and hate each other. Huh?
Like a serpent.
Yeah, like a serpent. Yeah, it's a science. It's a psychological science to where being a homosexual, being a transvestite back in the 50s, 60s, maybe I'm going too far back, was a psychological disorder to now it's okay. You know what I mean? It's like they're getting your kids right into it, so it has to be okay. Right? Having sex with animals will soon be okay. You know what I mean? If that's not already okay with them.
Yeah,
It's okay.
You're military and you're overseas, you're allowed to have sex with animals right now. You don't have to deal with the people, you can deal with animals. They just passed the law.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. But believe it, that's what kingdom we're in. That's what filthy, disgusting kingdom we're in. So go ahead, finish that up. Come on.
And towards the wife of his bosom.
Towards the what?
Wife of his bosom.
Right? Now they tell me that's the so-called Jew. Come on, man. You know what I mean? When you think of one-parent homes, what are you thinking of? Huh? You're thinking of blacks and Hispanics. And it doesn't mean that there's no Chinese one-parent homes. There's no white man one-parent home. There's no African one-parent home. We're talking about statistic-wise, though. Who's the statistics?
Right.
You know what I mean? The blacks and Hispanics. So you have to understand, as a nation, we're like this. Go ahead.
And towards the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Yeah, because why? She ain't in order. She mouthing off at him. He punched her in her face. You know what I mean? The white man came and said, y'all can't be together. The kid's going to be with us. Right? Or she lied or he lied. Division is in the household. Chaos. Why? Because of anger and hate. Because there's no love. There's no love. There's no humility. There's no wisdom. Right? Right, because America gave the woman the boots. He gave them the pants now. Right? So now the America wants the man to bow down to the woman. But the man ain't standing up for nothing but drugs, dope, and any random booty he can get. So she don't respect him. He don't respect her. Division. The kids don't respect none of you. You know what I mean? They're like, all of y'all crazy. So I'm going to go be crazy. Kids is on Xannies. Right? What other ones? Molly's, ecstasy. I'm talking about, yeah, Percocets. I'm talking about the prescription ones. Yeah, they're like, what, you're too hyper. Let's give them this. Yeah, all that. The scissor, all that. They give you all that, man. And they don't regard. You know, my kid's the same way. My kid's the same way. He's like hyper. He's hyper. All you have to do is talk to him. Got him calm down. I put him in NNA. Dude, his energy, he's not doing that no more. I didn't have to give him downers. This dude still got energy, but it mellowed down. I didn't have to give him downers and Xannies, right? Just gave him something to do. A lot of children's minds that are like that, they're more smarter than the average human.
Right.
They're moving at a faster pace, so things slow bores them. They're like, this is boring. I'm thinking at a faster pace. But the white man, he's the Encino man. He's the mountain man. He's like, well, how are you gonna do it? Like the caveman. Give him this. Eat this. Like, you don't even know nothing spiritual. They're not a spiritual people. And all you have to do is sit down and raise these kids with wisdom and intellect. Teach them discipline. You know what I mean? Gave him martial arts, he's good. He's calm. Discipline, and that's what a lot of our kids need. You know what I mean? Same thing with the lazy ones. Give them stuff to do. Give them activities to be in, right? But you're not there to teach them because you don't have the wisdom. You're not teaching them because you don't have the knowledge. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 56.
Go ahead.
The tender and delicate woman among you,
Right.
which would not adventure to set her sole of her feet upon the ground.
The black and Hispanic women, yes, they were tender and delicate. Their arms wasn't tighter, harder than yours. You know what I mean? They didn't have bigger guns than you, physically and mentally. They were tender. They were soft. They were soft-spoken. And to the point where they will be carried around. This is what the Most High is saying. You know what I mean? That's the standard that the woman will go back to. That's the standard, the love that the man will go back to. The woman will come back into the standard of what a woman is. Soon as she takes off the pants. Soon as she takes off the briefs. If she got a dress on, she still wear boxers under it. Because why? She want to be that Americanized woman. That's got to be taken away because she has to humble herself to being what a woman is. But how is that going to happen when you make her do everything like the man? How is that going to? How is she going to be woman when you don't make her, when you don't bring her and put her in that woman position? You want her to do every damn thing. You want her to take care of the kids, take care of the house, take care of the nation, and you want to sit back. That's why the Most High say, who's going to rouse him up? Who's going to rouse that lazy little lion up? Judah. Who's going to rouse him up? Christ. The word's supposed to be rousing you up. The care, the love for your people is supposed to rouse you up. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be exciting. You're supposed to be ready. You know what I mean? But our people's just too laid back, too relaxed, too at ease. What?
I would say, just off of what you said about our women being masculine, in other countries, they have now invented to where women can pee standing up. They carry this certain thing where they can walk around and they can pee standing up. Because the most feminine thing you have to do, remember, a man never pees sitting down. But that's the thing now is they invented this thing where a woman can pee standing up.
Pee standing up, yeah.
It's all psychological.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to play the role of a man, then the most degrading thing is a man sitting down to pee.
Right.
So if you're going into the mindset of something masculine, then you're supposed to be able to position your body and your thought process like a man.
And it's masqueraded by what? Equality. It's masqueraded by that. And like they care for you, like they care for your community. You know, sister, I know I didn't ask you if you have any questions. Did you have any questions back there? Okay, if you have any questions, just feel free to raise your hand. You know, we're going over this, I know, but if y'all have any questions, we got questions online? All right, we're going to finish this up and then jump to the questions. Go ahead.
Her eyes shall be evil towards her husband,
right,
of her bosom,
right,
and towards her sons, and towards her daughters.
Yeah, they don't want to be a mother no more. They want to be that independent, I want to live life and travel the world, and yeah, like Beyonce, and I mean, but they don't understand that you're stripping your children of that love. You're stripping them of the thing that is going to get them to love their kids. You know what I mean? You know how it is. You know when your dad was too hard, he was whipping that ass too much. It's like, Dad, okay, you whipping me, but where's the love at, Daddy? It got to be a balance. You got to whip them, but you got to show them love, right? What's up, bro?
We had a conversation, man. This is my mom.
Oh, that's your mom. Okay, hi, Mom.
So I was telling her that I don't like her listening to Christian pastor radio type shows and stuff. And one of them was saying that they were making a split between the Old and the New Testament, saying that the customs of keeping the traditions is old and that's no longer basically done. And I was trying to explain, like, man, that's not true, because God says hold this forever or do this forever. So
right.
I was just trying to. I wanted to bring it out so that we could.
I'll throw one in there for you right now, just to destroy that BS that they talk about. Deuteronomy 32 verse 8, 32 verse 7. Deuteronomy 32 verse 7, real quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the days of old.
No, forget it.
Remember the days of old.
Do what?
Remember the days of old.
Let the paths of the old be forgotten.
Right.
Remember the days of old.
Right?
Consider the years of many generations.
Go ahead.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
The scriptures are telling you, remember. It's saying not forget. It's saying not to forget. That's the problem. We forgot how to have love and compassion and unity, black pride, brown pride. We forgot how to stand as a nation. You understand? Everybody's talking about forget it. Why? Because the new is this Nimrod, one world transvestite order, where we're all walking around with damn pumps and lipstick, the men becoming women and the women becoming men. That's why they want you to forget. Yeah.
And another one, Christ died for all sin, so the old law is no longer necessary.
Let me go into that. Let me finish this real quick. And then we'll jump back to Deuteronomy, then we'll go to the next one. Let's finish this one, though. Go ahead.
Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
Go ahead.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Yeah, we were supposed to go back to the ancients and ask. You're supposed to go to Uncle Ray and ask him, man, tell me about when we Hebrew Israelites. You understand? When we sat on the banks and were able to get wisdom from the ancients. Psalm 77 verse 5. Psalm 77 verse 5.
Psalms chapter 77 verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times.
Yeah, we're supposed to remember the ancient times and the days of old. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. The further we go, the more we go and time dwindles into destruction, the more wicked it's going to get. So why would we forget the past when in the beginning it was in its most strength? It tells you that in Esdras. Okay? Let's jump and finish Deuteronomy, then I'll go to the law question. Go back to Deuteronomy. Let's finish that up for Andrew and Chris. And it was Chris, right? Chris, right? Two Chris's here. Go ahead.
Verse 7 again?
No, go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 56. Finish that up.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 57. And towards her young ones that cometh out from between her feet.
Okay, that's good on that. Jump to verse 68.
Verse 68.
And
the Lord
read 64.
Verse 64.
Go ahead.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Go ahead.
From one end of the earth, even unto the other.
And that's what the Most High did. So yes, majority of you Israelites are over here in America because you served here as slaves. But we're scattered everywhere. We're scattered amongst all nations. Go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
That's where the religions come in. You're serving all these other gods, ideals, and doctrines when it has nothing to do with the Most High. Go ahead.
Even wood and stone.
Yeah, Buddha, Hindu, Muslim, the cross. You're celebrating all these things or serving all these things, but not serving the Most High, right? Go ahead.
And among these nations shall thou find no ease.
You find no what?
Ease.
You're gonna find no what?
Ease.
So why is it, black man, Hispanic man, that you looking for that 9 to 5, that white picket fence, that 1.5 kids to make ease in your life? That's not gonna give you ease. When you get your kids, you're gonna have to watch out for them being Trayvon Martin on up. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to worry about them getting shot or killed in the street. Why? Because the wisdom is not there. So you're looking for ease in a society that is not gonna give you peace. The Most High said there's no peace unto the wicked. He said there's no peace unto the wicked. Y'all see that? Jump to verse 68.
Verse 68.
Right. So one of the main points going to the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, to the so-called Negroes, West Indian Haitians, to the other tribes too, but mainly this tribe. Go ahead. Those tribes.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the first time the so-called, the first time the Israelites, the so-called black man, Hispanic man, the Israelite man, we were in Egypt and we walked in. Jacob walked in with the 70 souls, right? We walked into Egypt. Go ahead.
With ships.
Read.
By the way thereof I spake unto thee.
He said, but the second time you go into Egypt, you're going to go in with ships. So this word Egypt, okay, it comes from Hebrew, which is Mizraim, which means shut in, restraint, and hold down. So this second Egypt, we were going to go into with ships. Now, technically, biblically, historically, there was no other Egypt that we went into ships. But there was one place we went into ships with. That was the Americas. You understand? We came over here on cargo slave ships as slaves. Even the 9.5 tribes came over here on ships to America. Yeah.
Can you spell that? You said Egypt.
Mizraim?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, wait. Go ahead.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Thou shalt what?
See it again no more.
Right, so we've never seen our homeland. That's why the last place you think is your homeland is Jerusalem. You think Africa or Aslan. You know what I mean? You think Africa or Mexico. No. Your homeland is in Jerusalem. And we never seen that place no more. Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold.
And there, in that Egypt, you're going to be sold as what?
Unto your enemies.
Unto who?
Your enemies.
No, our friends.
Your enemies.
You thought they was going to tell you your true history and your true identity and tell you were gods and kings and priests?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Why do you even think the white man tell you, listen, aliens had to create the pyramids because the Mexicans, you're too dumb.
Right.
That's how they look at us. It had to be aliens. It couldn't be that we was a wise, intelligent people. It had to be some damn alien that created the pyramids. Like before the white man came, we didn't know how to saw a brick, make mortar. You know what I mean? Or no mathematics. Well, it's the opposite. The white man came out of the caves, and we taught him how to use a toothbrush and a spoon. You understand? It wasn't like all those movies Apocalypto where their teeth is all yellow and they didn't know how to brush their teeth and no hygiene and they were just filthy and nasty. We were clean, intelligent, wise people. You understand? And we created the temples, the Aztec temples, the Mayan temples, all the temples. There was no angels. I mean, no angels or no aliens that had to do that. We had the technology. We had brains. We did it in Egypt. Why is the Aztecs ones when we built them in Mexico? Why are those different? Or the ones throughout the world? Why are they different from the ones in Egypt? Because it was so much intelligent that the white man can't even fathom where it came from. Because they discredited you so much. They want to break you down and they'll never teach you you're the gods of the new world. They're never going to teach you that. Yeah.
It says it in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5 and verse 6. I'll go ahead and read it. Give me a comment what you got it? You got it? Come, okay. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess. Verse 6. Keep therefore and do this, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So basically that's showing you that because we had the wisdom of the Most High, because we read it in Psalms 147, verse 19 and verse 20, that he gave it to Israel. Unto Jacob he showed it, right? He had not done it with no other nations, right? This is the wisdom we had instructed into us to do these miracles, to do this miraculous things. Mm-hmm. This is the wisdom that we use to build the pyramid.
I showed y'all the other day in the Josephus, it said that Abraham taught the Egyptians mathematics and science. Then when you go to Baruch, I was just telling you about this today. Check this out. You go to Baruch, the 3rd chapter. Let me show you. These nations didn't have no wisdom, man. The wisdom was given to Israel. Go to your pocket. Go to Baruch 3. Go to Baruch 3 and 14.
Baruch chapter 3 and verse 14.
And then we're going to jump down to verse 22.
Baruch chapter 3 and verse 14. That's on page 104 if you guys have the red pocket. Chapter 3 and verse 14.
Baruch 3 verse 14.
It says,
let him read it. Huh?
Okay.
Baruch chapter 3 verse 14. Learn where is wisdom.
Uh-huh.
Where is strength?
Right.
Where is understanding?
Right.
That thou mayest know also where is length of days.
Yeah, that the Most High gave us. Listen, you want to live long, you got to come back to the light, to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Christ, of the Creator, of the Most High. Go ahead.
And life.
Uh-huh.
Where is the light of the eyes? And peace.
Right. You want peace? You got to come back to this wisdom. You're not going to get peace out there in the world. There's no peace unto the wicked. Go ahead. Right, now jump down to verse 22.
Verse 22. It had not been heard of in Canaan.
Read it again.
It had not been heard of in Canaan.
Wisdom have not been heard in Canaan. You know what that means? The Africans, the Jebusites, the Gergesites, the Hamites, they didn't have the wisdom of the Most High. That's why they always worship other gods. They didn't have intellect. They didn't have knowledge. You got these people running around talking about the Egyptians were wise people. Man, before the Egyptians had it, you had Abraham. He's the one that taught them. They didn't have the intellect. You know, you talk about the Baghdad battery. Y'all know about that? The Baghdad battery is basically light. It's light. You know what I'm saying? It makes light, and we had that. It wasn't until the white man came and stole everything and like, oh, you know what? I'm the first one that started light. I'm the first one that started this, the steam engine, the car, right? The what? Yeah, everything. Everything the white man has stolen. But this is talking about all the nations, the other nations. It says, go ahead, it has not been heard in Canaan. Go ahead.
Neither hath it been seen in Teman.
Teman, go ahead.
The
Agrides is talking about Hagar, the Hagarites. So the Ishmaelites, the Muslims, they don't have no wisdom. Go ahead.
The Agrides that seek wisdom upon earth.
Uh-huh.
The merchants of Moran.
Go ahead.
And of Teman.
Uh-huh.
The authors of fables.
Yeah, they're authors of what?
Fables.
What are these Africans and you know, Hindu and all these storytellers? They want to tell you some lengthy BS story. It says authors of fables. Go ahead.
And searchers out of understanding.
Uh-huh.
None of these have known the way of wisdom.
Check that out. Only the Israelites, only you have been given the wisdom. But you left on. You wanted to follow these heathens. So look at us now. We're just like the heathens. What's up, Bob?
No, I was gonna say this, just to go further what you said. If I want to build something, am I gonna go down to Home Depot and pick up a bunch of white people?
No. No.
Some Africans?
No.
It's in their spirit. Now, if we're dumb people, they don't even go to school. Say, what Mexican school did they go to?
Right.
If Mexico been beat down to the ground and they jump in the borders to get here to work,
right.
Something they do by nature, and then when you see them, they build it faster than anything else.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Because what? Go back to Deuteronomy. Let me hit you with this one real quick, and then we're gonna jump. See, but this is the thing that the white man has discredited our people, man. The white man has discredited the black man, the Hispanic man, the Native American man, and stole everything. That way you can run to him. That way your woman can run to him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you wise. You're profound. You wise. Right to the white man, right? But you dirty. You ugly. You nappy-headed nigga. You're like, you ain't nobody. You ain't got nothing, nigga. Right, because the white man's sitting there like S.O.W. He got every damn thing, and he's telling you, I got the history. I'm God. I'm Christ. I'm the angels. I'm everybody. You know what I mean? His God, his Jesus has flowing hair. You know what I mean? So it's like, his hair's nice hair. Him have a nice hair, Jesus. Right? That's wrong, man. Deuteronomy 28 and 39.
Deuteronomy
chapter 28, verse 39.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them.
Thou shalt do what?
Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them.
Yeah, who's doing all this? Israelites. Who's taking care of their crops? You know what I mean? They ain't doing it. But that shows you how the white man, he got something. He got an ass whooping coming to him. He has a holy ass whooping coming to him. Because in everything he's been the liar, the deceptive, the evil. I mean, they stole this damn country and they're trying to kill our people and get them back over to where? This is their country. This is their land. See, this is what the Most High is saying. Read it again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 39. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes.
Yeah, you can't, because you know why? You got to be at the work site in the morning early as hell. You understand? You're not going to be able to enjoy the benefits of your work. You're going to build their kingdom. And you're going to go home and what? Get that foot massage, get you a little meal, and get ready to go back to work. But now our people are comfortable with working. They're acting like this is it. Like that's life. Where you at?
Oh, I was going to ask you on verse 30.
Yeah, verse 30. Go ahead. Go ahead, you got it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Yeah, and they building these houses, they building these mansions, and going back into a damn corner. Going back into a closet. That's the curse. Tell me that's the so-called Jews. The ones that stole your identity. Tell me that's the so-called white man. That's you. In the ghettos, in the slums, going right back to your shack. Yeah.
I just want to give the definition of ghetto, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
It says, this is ghetto. It says a part of the city in which members of a particular group or race live, usually in poor conditions.
Go ahead.
Then when you jump down, it says a quarter of the city in which Jews were formerly required to live.
That's why you're known as the ghettos. You know what I mean? That even slang analogy didn't even latch to them. It didn't latch to them. It went right to the Jews. Y'all see that? So, okay, y'all got any questions on that? I know that's a lot. Yeah.
What was that last verse? What you read?
Oh, it was Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 30.
Right. Deuteronomy 28, verse 30. All right, so the next one was about, the next question you were saying about the law, right? Huh?
Yeah, if the law is supposed to be kept, and if Christ, like after his death and down on the cross, was that it for the law?
Wait, okay. All right, so we'll go there.
Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 17. Slut.
And then, real quick, while we're getting that, Mizraim in Hebrew.
I have it written down.
Yeah.
Mizraim. M-I-T-Z-R-A-Y-A-M. Again.
M-I-Z-R-A-I-M. M-I-Z-R-A-I-M. Mizraim. Now, in Hebrew, it's Matazariam, which is Ma, Ta, Tazah, Ra, Ya, Ma, for y'all that read Hebrew. I mean, that's studying the Hebrew. That's making it the Hebrew class, Matazariam. But Mizraim is the English. M-I-Z-R-A-I-M. Not no T in there. You're wrong. T is wrong.
Right.
Yeah, you got it? You got it, sister? All right. All right, where you going at?
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I come to destroy the law.
Now, this is a red letter edition Bible, right?
God.
Which means who's talking?
Christ.
Now, what did he say again?
Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
So he's not come to destroy the law. What law is that? Because this is Christ talking, right? So what law would he be talking about?
The law of God.
The law that Israel got from when they came out of Egypt. He said he didn't come to destroy it, right? Read.
Or the prophets.
Or what the prophets laid down. Yes, sir.
She said, does that mean like the 10 Commandments?
There were more than 10 commandments. There were over 300 laws, statutes, and commandments. You had ceremonial laws, dietary laws, sacramental laws. So there was more than, it wasn't that Moses stayed up on the mountain talking, dealing with the angel, right? For 40 days and for 40 nights, not eating water, not drinking water, not eating food for 40 days and for 40 nights to come down with 10 commandments? Does that logically make sense? So what was he up there doing then? He was learning instruction in order to give it to Israel. That's right. So you got the whole first 5 books of the Old Testament, nothing but just laws. The history of it, of the beginning of time, all the way until Exodus. All the way to Deuteronomy. You see that? Because he's giving edification. He's giving edification on what he received. That's right. Sis? Laws, statutes, and commandments. You see that? Did you just have your hand raised?
No, I was like, no, I was just not.
Because I see your hand move.
I was not.
No? Yeah. Okay. Continue.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
But what did he give you? He came to what?
Fulfill.
What does that mean?
To actually go through with something.
He came to give you understanding. Right? The wages of sin is death, right? What's going to kill you?
Sin.
Why would that sin kill you? Think about it. Think about it. You're eating too much of the wrong food, right? You're eating too much pork. Then you get sick. Then you get, instead of ankles, you get cankles, right? You got high water blood pressure, right? And then you go to see the doctor. What's one of the things he asks you? What do you what? What are you eating? We're going to give him a list of what you're eating. And somewhere on there is some type of pork 5 different ways, 7 different ways. Right? Then what is he going to tell you to do?
Cut that pork out.
Why? If you don't cut the pork out, what's going to happen?
Thou amputation.
That or amputation, right? But that came from the doctor. That wasn't written thousands and thousands of years ago.
Right.
That the scriptures wasn't telling you not to do that. What's up, sis?
You said fulfillment what?
Fulfillment.
Understand.
He came to give you understanding. To fulfill, he's trying to give you understanding. Why the wages of sin is death. Why eating too much shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork is going to kill you.
Right.
Why to instead of using the herbs for meat, as it's supposed to be, but instead you're rolling it up and intaking it, putting carbon monoxide that actually kills your body, that kills you, right? But you're putting that inside your body. Why that's going to kill you? Yes, sir.
How the scripture go, what you just said?
Go ahead.
This is James chapter 1, and I'm going to just read that verse 15.
Go ahead.
It says,
Go ahead. Let everybody get it.
James 1 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
To the point.
You guys got it? Okay. 3 people got it? Does everybody else got it? Okay, read that.
Then when lust has conceived, it brings forth sin.
So when you have this lust, that lust is an overwhelming desire. Whether it be to fornicate, masturbate, or eat, gluttonous, right? When you have that lust, that overwhelming desire to do those things, when it takes root and you're doing the effects of it, read.
It brings forth sin.
It brings forth sin. And what is sin, class? Those of you who have been here. Give me the scripture for the new people that haven't been here, because we know what it is. First one to get it. Come on now. Soldiers, officers. We're supposed to be that shining light that you like to say, right? Where's that light at?
It's 1 John chapter 3, verse 4.
So you wasn't on vacation. Okay, go ahead.
1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law.
Okay.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
So you're breaking the law. That's what sin is. You see that? So if you're breaking the law, you're sinning. So go back to James 1:15 where you're at.
James chapter 1 and verse 15. Then when lust hath conceived, it brings forth sin.
So when that overwhelming desire to do those things, to eat those things, to partake in those things, when it conceives and takes root, and now you're being the product of your sin, of your lust, I'm sorry, not of your sin, but of your lust, it brings forth sin. It brings you forth to break the law. When that pork chop smells so good, when that fried bacon smells so good, when the chitlins smell so good, right? Yeah.
Everybody like,
Yeah. Mouthful salivating and stuff over some chitlins. Stop. Over pig intestines. Right? But that overwhelming desire just kicks in. You need to eat that chicharron, right? What is the other one? The tripas, the what? What is it, John? What's the other?
the what?
Menudo?
Menudo, that's the lining of the belly.
Try.
Try, what is,
Menudo's the lining of the belly?
yeah.
Cow.
What is what's the other word for pork?
Pozole.
Chicharron,
It's another. I know what you.
I made the mistake and got someone out of taco one time.
Lengua.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm
You talk about for breakfast.
Yeah, for breakfast. Chorizo. There we go. Chorizo. Mess around and somebody tell you, yeah, that's all me. So they fill your burrito up with some chorizo. You like, then you find out it's pork. You're like, whoa.
Tamales got pig lard in them.
Yeah, your tamales got pig lard in it.
Oh, yeah.
You see that? So when you have that overwhelming desire and your mouth just getting wet just thinking about it, right? When you have that overwhelming desire to do those things, to eat those things, it brings forth sin. Now you're breaking the law because you have that overwhelming desire to do it. You're like a crack fiend, but for some pork. You're like a crack fiend, but for some weed. You see that? It brings forth sin. Read.
And sin, when it is finished.
So when sin's done, when you get done being a whoremonger, when you get done being a gluttonous for all the defiled delicacies in the world, when that's done, read.
It brings forth death.
What's the end of it?
Death.
Too much sleeping around, what happens? STD, herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea. Purple syphilis, gonorrhea, right? You know what I'm saying?
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. Get clapped up with that boy, right? Got that itch. You know what I mean? That package. The gift that keeps on giving. Right? Feet so swole you can't even, you ain't got no ankles, you got cankles now. Right? All these things bring forth death. Why? Why did it bring forth the death?
When you go up to verse 14, it says, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
You're drawn away of your own lust, but why? Because you didn't, like he said in 1 Timothy 2:15, you didn't study to show yourself approved. You just wanted to be tossed with the wind of every doctrine because of some guy who puts pastor in front of his name says, well, I'm a pastor, so the Bible said, and he has a southern drawl. Jesus came, Jesus saw, and he said,
Jesus wept.
Jesus wept.
Big Ten done away with.
Big Ten, the Big Ten done away with, so I'm here to tell you, we're going to have a fish fry at the church. Right?
No, they actually have for Halloween down there on Fondry.
Yeah, we used to do it at my church too in Colorado. They called it Hallelujah Night. They tried to justify it.
Yeah, and they'll have four hot dogs out there for you.
They did catfish nuggets where I was at. Catfish nuggets. Yeah, you know what that's from, right? But they did that kind of thing, but you're drawn away with that with your own lust. But why? Because you don't study to show yourself approved. Why? Because we're a cursed generation that seek after a sign instead of studying to show ourselves approved. Not knowing that knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability in our time. So those are all scriptures. It's just, but yeah, it just fires. But because it says in Isaiah 33:6, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy time, right? That's what's supposed to be making us to live, not die. And that's what Christ came to give you the understanding of. That's why he said back in Matthews, go there.
Isaiah or
Matthews.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
That's why he's saying, don't think that I come to destroy the law. Without the law, you're what? You're lawless. That means you're without the protection of the Most High. He didn't come to give you the law to burden you down with it. He came to give you the law so you can live. So you can live upright as a royal priesthood and show everybody else that's defiled and stupid as hell, and that's dirty and filthy, how to get right.
Go to that Romans 3:31.
Go to that Romans 3:31.
Romans 6:15. Y'all need all those for that.
Romans chapter 3, verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith?
Do we make void this word through just believing? Because it sounds good, we just believe that. We forgot to study to show ourselves approved, but I just got faith. I didn't read it or nothing. I just, you know what I mean? I asked somebody a question. They said if you just bless him in the name of Jesus,
right?
Shucky ducky quack quack, it's all good after that. Right? Is that so do we make void the law through just believing? What do you say?
God forbid.
Read it one more time. God what?
God forbid.
He said, hell no. God forbid. We don't make the word void through just belief. Read.
Yea, we establish the law.
No, we established this. This is the foundation of what we live our life on.
God.
This is the principal things of what we do. This is what we do when we sit down at the table, when we talking amongst ourselves. This is the first and last thing we're talking about. After that, before we go to bed, guess what? We're praying and we're meditating and we're musing upon it. You see that? This is the foundation of what we live by. This is our motto, and this is what we shall live by. You see that? That's how Israel was. Go to 6 and verse 15. Was that the end of 3? Okay. Go to 6 and verse 15.
Romans chapter 6, verse 15. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law?
So are we just going to break the law because we think we're not under the law? That's like saying you don't believe in God because you don't see Him.
Right.
What, you think that's air you're breathing? Who made that? That's like when Moses was rebutting against the Most High when he said, you're going to go stand in front of Pharaoh. He said, who the hell made man's lips? Who you think you're talking to? So you think we can just willfully go around consuming everything in our lust, sitting on every Tom, Dick, and Harry? Right? Because we're going to make void the law? Because Jesus died for me, and it's for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. But
I don't even make no
pass
sense.
them chitlins right there. Read.
What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace?
So just because we're under grace, because the earth didn't open up beneath us and swallow us because we did one wrong thing, we can go ahead and sin continually, willfully. Read.
God forbid.
What did he say?
God forbid.
He said, hell to the no, you can't.
Right.
Read.
Oh, verse 16.
Is that it?
That's it.
Right. Go back to Baruch 4, verse 1, man. See, they taught us this, that the laws are done away with. Why? Because, 1, they don't understand the Bible. 2, they don't read the Bible. 3, they want you to keep coming. You know what I mean? When we get people in here, we tell them, now you can't smoke weed and you can't eat pork no more. A lot of people don't receive it with joyfulness and gladness of heart, coming back to the commandments of God. They think that they want to still do those things in the flesh. The churches are big enough because they're letting people do what the hell they want to do.
That's right.
There's no restriction. The only thing that you got to do is sit there and believe, right? But the Most High is not going to say, if He's going to judge us, right? Then what is He judging us by? If there's no law, what is He judging us by?
Right.
But that's why you got to remember these scriptures that we're going to. Paul himself said it. Do we make void the law through faith? God forbid. We establish it. So that's showing you right there they don't know what He's talking about. Christ Himself said, I came not to destroy the law of the prophets. Once again, they're saying something different than what we're reading. That's what we just read. What are they saying? Read that Baruch 4:1.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
Right.
And the law that endureth forever.
The law is what?
Endureth forever.
The law is going to be for when?
And the law that endureth forever.
Right. We were just reading it the other day. What is part of the new covenant? Who knows that? What is part of the new covenant? Who's paying attention? Yeah.
Part of the new covenant is that Jesus is our mediator. That's one part.
That's one part. Good job on that. But pertaining to the topic about the law, what was that part that was going to be the new covenant? Yeah.
So the laws and the 10 commandments written in our heart.
The law was going to be in our heart. So how is the law done away with? Well, the law is going to be written in our heart. Well, we're going to be performing the law. That's just ignorance to say the thing that keeps you moral. That's like saying, listen, we're going to take away every red light. Nobody has to do red lights no more. There'd be so much accidents. Well, especially in this greedy ass state. You know what I mean? They got a light over there, man. A light by your house, Lakama. That one light where you go up the back way. I take that light to go to Mount Willis Karate. When you go up that back way, they got a 4-way of nothing but stop signs.
Yep.
And you know what? You can almost sit over there and watch everybody have to be disciplined, kind, and patient, and not kill each other. You know what I mean? But those are with stop signs, because you got some people, I want to go before. You got people in the middle of the street. Why? Because they didn't let this person and this person.
Yeah.
That Southern hospitality, right out the window. There's no such thing in Houston. You understand? So it would be chaos without law, without rules. Well, we're talking about God's laws. They're supreme. They're the things that build morality and wisdom and knowledge.
That's right.
When you go to the law, you got moral laws. You got Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy. Moral laws. See, when you go back to the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not commit adultery, that was a moral law. But that was one amongst many. Another moral law was that you supposed to sleep with you weren't supposed to sleep with your girl and her sister. So that's done away with. We can just do threesomes now. They said the laws are not done away with. See, the beginning was adultery. That would get you. You start on this will build a morality into you. It will build a standard in you. You know, when you see your brother's woman, when you see a woman on the street and she holding hands and her butt cheeks are all out, it will give you the humility enough to be like, wow, this is filthy. I can't believe this woman's dressed like that. Instead of being like, I hit that anyway. That's what the laws were supposed to do, right? So you got the moral law, which is adultery, but then you got the other commandments behind that, which was threesomes, right? Orgies, right? You got to think about what the white man is doing, what religion is doing. They're saying that's all open. If Jesus get no more laws, then we can do anything we want.
Because Christ forgives.
Because Christ forgives. Nah, it don't work that way. You're going to be judged by the wickedness you do. And the wickedness, the standard was based off of the law. Go to Romans 8. Romans 8. Check this out. Because Paul chops that up like a ninja. Romans 8.
So what?
Romans 8 and 1. Read that.
Romans chapter 8, verse 1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ, who walk not after the flesh.
Who do what?
Who walk not after the flesh.
There's no condemnation, but the condemnation is if you don't walk after the flesh. Like, you can't say you're of the Most High Christ, but do the things of the flesh. The law was given for who?
Israel.
The law was given for who?
Sinners.
The law was given for the lawless. The law was given for the lawless. So the people that don't know you shouldn't sleep with. Listen, there's brothers that came off the street, they don't know about adultery. That's the code of the street. You hit a nigga and pass it to me. I talk like that because that's how they look to me. They look retarded when they do it. But yeah, you hit a nigga and then you pass it to me, right? Like an animal, right? That's the law of the streets. So you need a law when they come in, the knowledge. You need to say, okay, listen, brother, you want to be a pastor, a deacon, a leader, a teacher, an example. Okay, you can no longer pass your girl around like if she's a pack of Newports or a bag of chips. What? No, Jesus did away with the laws. I want to be Mr. Pastor that passes my woman around like a bag of Dorito chips. Does that even make any sense? Well, those are laws in the Bible that you don't supposed to do. You see that? So if you're in the flesh, you need the law. You have fleshly individuals that listen. The scripture says, "Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not murder." Right? Christ said, "But if you're angry with your brother, that you already broke the law." Right? What about if a cat just run up to you and be like, "You know what? You stepped on my shoes." Right? Well, the spirituality of the law is, you might not even kill him, but why would you just punch him in the face for running up to you? That's how people are. You run up to me, I'll punch you in the face, beat you to death. You're not dead, though. I didn't kill and I didn't murder. So you're still keeping the law if you beat this guy to a pulp?
It's one law that says if a man, if you do something like that to where a man is put on his bed, you have to pay.
You have to pay him. Yeah, you got to pay him for recovery. You know what I mean?
Knock his eye out.
You knock his eye out, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. So, you know, the thing is this. The law was for the fleshly people that live in the flesh. You understand? And that's really who? That's all of us. Because we live after the flesh. Right? Read on.
Who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit.
You in the spirit? You don't need the law. You're working in the law. You understand? You're knowing not to do these things, not to defile yourself. But our people don't know that, so they need the law. See? Watch. I want you to jump to verse chapter 6.
Verse 1.
6 and 1.
Go ahead.
No, hold on. What? Wait. Oh man, where's this chapter? Yeah, 6 and 1.
Romans chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Yeah, so you got grace. You know what grace is? That when you say God is not going to strike me down, he literally doesn't strike you down right then and there. That's the grace. That, you know, you commit adultery, you look around, the angels will just snap you up and rip you in half. That's the grace. So shall we keep sinning? Well, what is sin? Did you show her that? What is sin?
Transgression of the law.
Sin is what?
Transgression of the law.
Did you show her that? So sin is transgression of the law. So do we keep breaking the law because we got grace? God forbid. Go ahead. Come on.
It's lucky.
Come on.
Verse 2.
Read.
God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
See the common sense of what he's saying? How are you supposedly saying you're dead to sin, but you're still doing the things of sin? That don't make no sense. The law was given for life, for righteousness. See, and these people, they're using the grace. They're using the mercy that the Most High has given them for a tool to keep sinning. Paul taught against that.
That's right.
The scriptures teach against that. Go ahead, read.
Verse 3. Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized into Christ were baptized into his death?
So if you were a follower of Christ, you're supposed to be baptized with his death. What does that mean? Who knows what that means?
You pick up your cross and you do the things.
Baptized unto his death. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I mean, we all was born in sin, so when Jesus died for our sin, you know, we still got a chance not to be condemned, but through him we might be saved.
But how though? How are we baptized in his death?
We baptized because of the blood.
Right? What else? You was right. That was a good one, brother. Yeah.
Losing our life also.
Go to Colossians 3:9. Go to Ephesians 4:24. See, he said baptized into his death, right? So Christ's death was supposed to be our baptism, right? But how? It's going to show us by just putting water on us, or by saying, "Oh, Jesus died for me." It's more than that. Sorry, it's not that. It's not that easy. Watch Colossians 3 verse 9.
Colossians chapter 3 verse 9.
Go ahead.
Lie not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man.
We have to do what?
Put off the old man.
So we're baptized in doing what?
Putting off the old man.
That's how we die. That's how we put that old man to the death. The adulterer, the murderer, the fornicator, the idolater, the lust, the pride, the envy, the malicious person, right? We put that guy to death.
That's right.
That's how we show honor to Christ. You understand? We can't just say, it's no point to say we're free if you're still bound to sin. How are you free when you're still a servant of sin? You have to destroy that old man. Go ahead. Read on.
verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And have put on the new man.
And you put on the what?
The new man.
We have to do what?
Put on the new man.
So the old man has to be what?
Dead.
The old man has to be dead. Go to Ephesians 4:24. And then we're going to jump back to 6 and Romans 6 and 4.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 24.
Go ahead.
And that ye put on the new man.
That we do what?
Puts on the new man.
Go ahead.
Which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness.
So we supposed to do what to the old man? He got to be buried. You got to put, that's how you show you're a new man. To live in the spirit is living in the spirit of the law. We're keeping the law spiritually. We're keeping the law of righteousness. Huh?
No, I'm just saying it's in our inward parts.
Yeah, it's in our inward parts. Not that I say I believe in Jesus and he freed me, now I'm going to go shoot you in the face. Jesus can forgive me. He forgive me. So if I blow your teeth out your mouth, I'm just going to be forgiven. If that's the case, then why are we sitting here? Why do we even have to learn this if he freed us for us to be a servant back to sin? That's idiocracy, man. Go ahead. Read.
Romans chapter 6, verse 4.
Go ahead.
Therefore we are buried.
We are what?
We are buried.
He said put off the old man, then we have to be what?
Buried.
That old man, we got to stuff him 6 feet deep. Why? Because he got to be put to death like Christ was put to death. See, that old man, he yields his members as servants to sin. Read.
We are buried with him by baptism into death.
Uh-huh.
That like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father,
right?
Even so we also should walk in newness of life.
We read it, that you put off the old man and put on the new man that is renewed in the spirit of your mind.
That's right.
And what knowledge? So what does the knowledge do?
Renew your mind.
I'm going to show you. Go to Romans 7.
Verse 1.
7 and 7.
Romans chapter 7, verse 7.
Check it out. Read.
What shall we say then? Is the law sin?
Yeah, these guys are insane. They're insane to say that the law was created, to be done away with, or it was against us. It was against us because we didn't understand it, not that it was against us. Yeah, I hope y'all understand that. The law was righteous. It's going to tell us that. It was against us because we didn't understand. Watch, it's going to tell us right here. Go ahead.
Is the law sin? God forbid.
Do me a favor. Stay reading with me or don't read. Please, read.
Nay, I have not known sin,
Go ahead.
but by the law.
So how else would we know what is sin except the law said, thou shalt not sin? It's going to tell us. Read.
For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
How do you know how do you know you were sinning unless a brother showed you a scripture that eating pork was sin? How do you know you were sinning unless a brother showed you a scripture that says lusting after a man's woman was adultery? How do you know? You wouldn't know. So the knowledge of sin, you have to know, and that's why the law is there. What's been done away with and nailed to the cross is the death. The death of the law. That was against us. Why? Because it didn't help. You committed adultery, you was brought out, you was killed. There was nothing to be learned. Right? But now you're learning. You're learning what it is to be righteous. And what sin does. What breaking the commandments does. You want to be a whoremonger, adulterer, murderer, killer? Look at your community. Look at your children. Look at your household. Look at your family. Look at your nation. This is what it does. So you get to sit around and look in the ghettos and the slums when they're on crack. Your children are being tossed over the bridge, being put in the microwave. That's what sin does. The Most High, you would not know it though. Where do you think all this comes from? Wickedness comes from? Us sinning, us breaking the laws. Go ahead, read.
Verse 8. But sin, taken occasion by the commandment,
right,
wrought in me all manner of concupiscence.
Concupiscence. Go ahead.
For without the law, sin was dead.
Right. Now I want you to jump, because I'm not going to go over the whole chapter. Verse 12.
Verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy.
The what?
The law is holy.
So the law is true. It's pure. Go ahead.
And the commandment holy.
Go ahead.
And just.
Read.
And good.
Right. That's what the scriptures say. Go ahead.
Was then that which is good made death unto me?
Yeah. Was the law created to kill you? No. But it did because we didn't understand the law. See, the law was created to bring you to life, but we didn't get it, so it brought death to us. That's what Christ had to take away. He came and said, okay, no more sacrifice. All these animals are dying for no reason. You niggas don't get it. It's all about sacrifice, and you're not worrying about what's in your mind. You're not putting this away. You're not putting the sin away in your spirit. So I'm going to die the last time and do away with all the sacrifice. Now, you're going to bear your own sin. Well, I'm going to give you one day, and you're going to be judged. Judgment day. That's why he says when he comes back, the books are going to be open. What is he going to judge you out of? Right. What is sin? You see what I'm saying? You gotta know the Bible to understand that these people are insane to say the law is done away with. Well, then what am I being judged of? Even if when you go to court, right? They say, okay, all right, Bill, come forward. Give me your records. You know what I mean? The white man knows good and well about some records, boy. In 96, you ran a red light there. You're a naughty little Negro, aren't you? We got you. It looks like you've been doing this all your life. Not paying your tickets, not paying your warrants, your child supports, and there's like, I'm here for a traffic ticket. Why are you telling me about you were locked up in 74?
You're a habitual something right now.
Yeah. Right? They know about judgment. But the white man, you know why they do that? Because they want to manipulate and act like they're not going to be judged. They can act like they're not going to be judged. You can run and act like you're going to hide. Judgment is Christ. God said he will open the books. The books will be open. Get that for me. And he's going to judge us out of them. What books? There's two sets of books. The book of life and then your books of what you did all your life. And it's going to be written and then you're going to be judged out of that. So this is beyond what these people are teaching us, man. And usually that does what to people? Does it help them? Does it change them? Does it empower them? No, it don't. It keeps them in sin. So, where are you at? Revelation what?
20 and verse 12.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 12.
Right. Wait till they get it. Hold
it.
Revelations 20, verse 12.
Come.
Revelations 20, verse 12. Read.
And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God.
Right.
And the books were open.
Right.
And another book was open.
Right.
Which is the book of life.
Right. The books were open. You know what those books are? It says you're going to be judged by every idle word and all your actions. That's what you're going to be judged by. Most High's not stupid. He's going to have the records. Every time, every hour of the day, he knows what you're thinking, what you're doing. You understand? He knows where you're off. Not Santa Claus, the Most High. He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Not Santa Claus, the Most High. You understand? Go ahead.
And the dead were judged out of the books.
No. Judge out of what, though? I don't got to do nothing. So why am I being judged? Christ gave me grace. He's going to come back and give me a flower, and I just get to be a filthy nigga and walk into the kingdom? No. You wish. I wish it was that easy. It ain't that easy. This kingdom is for the righteous. Go ahead.
Those things which were written in the books,
right,
according to their works.
Right. You see that? According to their works. So just to show you, sis, that we're going to be judged out of the law. Go to Esdras. Go to 2nd Esdras. I was just reading this the other day. Go to 2nd Esdras, the 7th chapter. The 7th. actually been in this chapter. This is, man, this second Esdras, the 7th chapter. And you're going to go to, second Esdras. Let me see here. No, no. Notice it's 7. Yeah, I want to get this one. Just bear with me 1 second, because this is going to hit 61. Second Ezra 7.
Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 61. That there should not be such heaviness in their destruction, and shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation.
Right.
I answered then and said, I know, Lord, that the Most High is called merciful, and that he hath mercy upon them which are not yet come into the world.
Go ahead.
And upon those also that turn to his law.
To his what?
That turn to his law.
He's going to have mercy on those that what?
Turn to his law.
Go ahead.
And that he is patient and long-suffering those that have sinned as his creatures.
Right. Go ahead.
And that he is bountiful, and he is ready to give where it needed.
Right. So the Most High is going to judge us according to us following the law. But has he not? Is he not giving us mercy?
God.
Is he not giving us time?
God.
I want to get this other one. Jump to verse 52.
Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 52.
Mm-hmm.
And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life.
Right.
Whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all.
Right.
And that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endureth forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it.
Right.
For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence.
We use what?
Abstinence.
The righteous are going to do what?
Use abstinence.
See, the righteous are going to use abstinence. We're going to stay away from the wicked and follow the laws of the Most High. That's the abstinence. See, while everybody's running around committing whoredoms and idolatry and madness and the world is going crazy, chopping their penis off and turning themselves into women, drugs, and all this madness, the righteous, we're going to be abstinent. We're going to be restricting ourselves. Like Paul said, I'm a prisoner of Christ. That's what we're going to become. Go ahead.
Shall shine above the stars.
We're going to do what?
Shine above the stars.
Go ahead.
Whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we consider not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
But everybody else that commits iniquity, they're going to do what?
Suffer for it after death.
See, you know what they got coming in? They got hell here on earth and then hell in the afterlife. They're going to suffer after death. See, now, let me jump. Does Jump to 7. Verse 19.
Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 19.
18.
18.
Uh-huh.
Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer strict things.
So we're gonna suffer, but we're gonna keep what? It says we're gonna practice abstinence. Go ahead.
And hope for why?
Right. Go ahead.
For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things.
Uh-huh.
And yet shall not see the why.
They're not gonna see the kingdom. You're gonna suffer in this kingdom, and you're gonna catch hell in the next life. See, but watch. It's going to come right back down to the law. Go ahead.
And he said unto me,
uh-huh.
There is no judge above God,
mm-hmm.
and none that hath understanding above the highest.
Mm-hmm.
For there be many that perish in this life.
Go ahead.
Because they despise the law of God.
They did what?
They despise the law of God.
Don't listen to these Christians, man.
Right.
Don't listen to them. This Bible is true. It said they despise the law.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That is set before them.
Uh-huh.
For God hath given strict commandments.
He did what?
Given strict commandments.
He gave us the what?
Straight commandments.
He gave us laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
Go ahead.
To such as came.
Uh-huh.
What they should do to live.
The Most High plainly told us what we needed and what we were going to do to live in the next world.
That's right.
He gave us the laws.
It's the circumcision.
Huh?
It's the circumcision. The separation. Circumcision.
Right. Okay. One aspect, good way to look at it, it separates us like the circumcision separates us like from the heathen physically. Right? Go ahead.
Even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment.
See, he gave us the laws on what we're supposed to do what?
Avoid punishment.
That's plain, bro. We're supposed to keep these laws to avoid punishment. Christ came to give us the spiritual understanding of the law. He even said, when you get a chance, sis, go back and read Matthew 5. It's going to plain out tell you that Christ himself, he didn't say he did away with the law. He said, I told you from the old, thou shalt not commit adultery. He said, but I even tell you that if you lust after her in your heart, you already committed adultery. So how is that doing away with the law?
We'll give you a step further.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a step further. I'm going to make it harder on you. Because really where it was supposed to start was in your mind. Right? Not after you gave her your number, you talking to her, you chatting with her, and then you can't restrain yourself. Nigga, you already committed adultery when you got her number. And you talked to her, and you chatting with her. That's adultery. They want to do it like the old days, like they want to hit it and then, oh, I done sinned, I messed up. Obviously, it's too late for that. Let's talk about before you do it. That's the adultery. You understand that? See, but that's the understanding that Christ gave us. That's why I said, man, go back and read the 5th chapter. Go ahead.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him.
Read.
But spake against him.
Right, but they did what? What did these religions do?
Spake against him.
What do these scientists do?
Spake against him.
What does America do?
But spake against him.
They speak against the Most High. They ain't about keeping the commandments of the Most High. God ain't real. The earth started with a bomb blew up. Go ahead.
And imagine vain things.
They did imagine vain things. Go ahead.
And deceived themselves by their wicked deeds.
Yeah, they tricked themselves. Why? Because they didn't keep the laws. Go ahead.
And said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways.
Go ahead.
But his law have they despised.
Well, it comes right back to the law. He said his law they despised. When it came to the commandments, nah, I ain't going to do that. I'm not going to fix that. I'm not going to follow that. You know what I mean? That's old. He's telling you right here, judgment day. Listen, this is a future prophecy. He's not talking about even during the time of Esdras. He wasn't talking about then. He was talking about judgment day. We haven't even made it there. If the law was done away with, why are we being judged by something that was going to be done away with? Because Ezra knew Baruch said it, the law endured forever. Christ came to give us a spirituality of the law. Finish that, and then I want you to jump back to Romans.
And deny his covenants.
They did what?
And deny his covenants.
You see that? We denied his contract. That's why are the children of Israel, why are you in captivity and slavery right now? For breaking the laws. If the law was going to be done away with, then why are we getting punished?
Then we shouldn't be done. Yeah, we'd be free.
That's the idiocracy. They don't even read these scriptures. You can tell. It don't make no sense. And I went from the law to plain scriptures that tell you that the law is not done away with, to judgment showing that we're going to be judged on the law. In all perspectives, the law is in play. It's always there. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
In his statutes have they not been faithful.
Right. In his statutes.
God. In his statutes have they not been faithful.
Right. Jump back to Romans 7.
Romans chapter 7.
And this is what they didn't understand, sis. This is what these religions don't understand. 7:14. And then we ended on that.
Romans chapter 7, verse 14.
Go ahead.
For we know that. For we know that the law is spiritual.
Read it again.
For we know that the law is spiritual.
It can never be done away with. The law is going to be written in our inward parts. The law is spiritual. Go ahead.
But I am carnal.
See, that's where the war is at. The war is that you want to feed into the flesh instead of the spirit. So we didn't get it. We get it now. The ones that are spiritual, we understand it now. We understand that we live with the spirit. We pray with the spirit. We pray with the law. You know what I mean? But we pray in the spirit of the law. We believe in the law, but we believe in the spirit of the law. The carnal and the spiritual. So now as we wear our fringes, it represents the laws. We also wear it in our mind, in our spirit. You see that, sis? But when you get a chance, that Matthew 5, from 17 all the way down, Christ kills it. He gives you the understanding there that the law is not done away with. He takes it a further to show you how the law needs to be worshipped. All right? Do y'all got any questions on that? Anybody on that topic, off the topic? Any questions online? Yeah.
I was gonna say real quick. I was gonna say real quick. They have this new thing, man, where they're like they're doing sex roulette.
Yeah, I seen that.
Where
Yeah.
Crazy.
Sex roulette in Europe or somewhere?
Yeah.
Where one has HIV. Like Russian roulette, where they have these sex orgy parties, but one person has HIV. It was online, you know. Yeah.
So when these other nations, they go through a struggle, is it because they're cursed too?
Say that again?
Like these other nations and other people, when they go through a struggle, is it because they're chosen too?
No, it's because they committed iniquity and they loved it. You understand? Everybody was given the laws after the children of Israel. You understand? When we fell, it says the riches went to the Gentiles, right? The law of this Bible was in whose hand? Huh? After we fell. You understand? Now I'm talking about after we fell. I'm not saying from the beginning. We know from the beginning it was given to who? Israel, right? So we messed up. When we fell, whose hands was it in? It was in everybody's hands. That's why slave master was trying to use this Bible, right? But he didn't keep to the Bible. So just as the sons didn't keep to the Bible and got a holy ass whooping, guess what's coming for them? They were supposed to set up America. They were supposed to set up this kingdom in righteousness and establish it in the law. If they had done that, they would be welcome into the kingdom too. But they didn't do that. They followed wickedness. They set up their kingdom on falsehood, holiness, and lies. Right? Go to Isaiah 24, verse 5. And penis codes. Yep. Isaiah 24, verse 5. Back to the law.
Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5.
Go.
The earth also is defiled under the inhabitation thereof.
No, try it again. Inhabitants.
Oh, it's like the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Right.
Because they have transgressed the law.
Because they did what?
Transgressed the law.
So, when everything was given into these nations' hands, they had our laws. They had the knowledge. They had the Bible. What did they do with it? Rape, robbery, murder. They used it for wickedness. The conquistadors, the Spaniards came over here with a Bible in one hand, a sword in the other, and used our book against us.
God.
Use that love we had in us against us. They don't get away with that. If the sons don't get away, they're not getting away. Everybody trying to get the white man in the nations a pass when the sons of God didn't get a pass. They got to pay for what they did too. You understand that?
God.
It says the earth is defiled because they transgressed the laws. Go ahead.
Change the ordinance.
They did what?
Change the ordinance.
They changed the ordinance of everything. They're trying to turn a man into a woman into a man. They're trying to change all the orders that the Most High laid down. Go ahead.
Broken the everlasting covenant.
They've broken every law in the Bible. Every contract in the Bible, they have broke. So now they got to pay for that. That's why every prophecy of Babylon falling, it's not like, oh yeah, Babylon, you're going to fall, but you get to come into our kingdom. They're going to be destroyed. Y'all get that?
Come on.
All right. All right. Any other questions, Dwayne? Any other questions, y'all? Thirsty, man. None? Everybody? Y'all good? Nobody had any questions? Yeah, brother.
Another part where you were saying about the books will come out, and how are you supposed to make right out of that if you already did wrong?
Acts 17:29. We're gonna show you. And it's funny because the class he was gonna go over tonight was called repentance, but he didn't get a chance.
17 verse 29.
Yeah, but I'm gonna touch on a few scriptures that was gonna come out anyway, and then we'll go over it some other time in its entirety because he has a really, really in-depth class of repentance. But we're just gonna touch on a few scriptures. Acts 17:29. Read that.
Acts chapter 17 and verse 29.
Go ahead.
For as much then as we are the offspring of the Most High,
Go ahead.
we ought not to think the Godhead is like unto gold.
Right. So we first got to come in and understand this. We're not dealing with no idols. We're not dealing with that fictitious Jesus that walks around and says, I forgive you, my son. When Christ come back, he's not going to be saying that. I forgive you, my son. He did that already. He did that when he came. He died and he forgave us. Now, when he's coming back, it's judgment. So now's the time. We have all this time to do what's right. That's what we're going to find out. Go ahead.
We ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's device.
Go ahead.
In the times of this ignorance.
Right, in the times of being ignorant, whether it's idolatry, adultery, murdering, killing, whatever it is. At the times of this ignorant, go ahead.
The Most High winked at.
Yeah, so you didn't know. You ate that pork sandwich, you didn't know. Why? Because Pastor Give Me More Money didn't tell you. You know what I mean? Pastor Fatback didn't tell you. You didn't know. You know, nobody sat down with you and showed you the scriptures and said, listen, that's unlawful. The Most High don't want that. Go ahead.
But now commandeth all men everywhere to repent.
He wants you to do what?
To repent.
So now he's commanding you. And he winked at us. That's the mercy of the Most High. We just read that in Esdras. He gave us the time of mercy. But now, in this time of mercy, he's telling us, repent. Put away the evil you're doing. Go to Acts 17, Ecclesiastes 17, verse 20. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 17 and 20. So you see that? That's a powerful thing. He said, in your time of ignorance, he winked at it. You got to think about how merciful the Most High is. You were that adultery, you were that murder killer, you were that drug dealer. He winked at that. But now he calls you to repentance. Right? You were filthy. It doesn't mean that you weren't filthy. What it means is that he let it go because when he calls you, He wants to see what you're gonna do with that salvation. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 17 and verse 20. None of their unrighteous deeds are hid from him.
Right. The Most High sees your deeds. The Most High sees all of our deeds. He says, no, none is not righteous. None of us. But what does he want to see? He wants to see you working towards righteousness now. He wants you to put away the evil of your doing. Go ahead.
But all their sins are before the Lord.
Go ahead.
But the Lord being gracious.
He being what?
Being gracious.
Go ahead.
And knowing his workmanship.
Go ahead.
Neither left nor forsook them, but spared them.
Right. So the Most High spared you. Go ahead.
The alms of a man is a great.
Right. That's it on that. But the Most High spared you. So what did he spare you for? To give you a chance. You know why you're not dead? Because he's having mercy on you. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 11:23.
Wisdom of Solomon 11:23.
Wisdom of Solomon 11:23. Somebody else go to Isaiah 55 verse 6. Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon 11 and verse 23.
Go ahead.
But thou hast mercy upon all.
Thou hast what?
Mercy upon all.
Yeah, the Most High has mercy. And that's what he's doing right now. Now is the merciful time. Because as even you're fighting against sin and striving, you're going to mess up. But it's not going to be like before. The more you know, the more things you're going to change. The more you read and you study, you're going to say, you know what? I'm not doing that no more. That's why I said study, look through the scriptures, find it. Because the answers are here. What to put off. The law, you start with that. That's the basics, right? The basics is the law. Don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, oysters. Don't commit adultery. Don't commit adultery. Those are the basic ones, right? You start out with that. Now you're moving forward. Because when you move forward, then it's going to get into the spiritual man. You're going to have to let go of pride, envy, a malicious spirit, doubt, hatred, right? Anger. See, and now you're working towards that man of perfection, which we're all trying to reach. Man and women of perfection. Go ahead.
But thou hast mercy upon all. For thou canst do all things.
Go ahead.
And winkest at the sins of men.
So what did he do?
Winkest at the sins of men.
He winks at your sin. He winked at your sins. But he said he called you now to repentance. Finish it.
Because they should amend.
They should do what?
Amend.
He didn't just say I wink at your sins. I let you do what you want. He says because you should fix it. You should make it right. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of brothers and sisters don't understand. It's time to make it right. Not to sit on your hands and act like, oh yeah, I'm good because I know. No, you got things to make up. You done committed so much damn iniquity. You got to fix those things now. Y'all understand that? Yeah. Go from there. Go to Ecclesiastes 21, verse 1.
Ecclesiastes chapter 21 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 21 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
My son, hast thou sinned?
Read it again.
My son, hast thou sinned?
Go ahead.
Do so no more.
Right.
But ask pardon for thy former sins.
You see that? That's what the Most High is saying. Ask pardon. Ask the Most High to forgive you. Confess your faults. And run from evil. Watch. It's going to tell us. Read.
Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent.
Do you see that? Now it's time for you to run. Run from that negative. Run from that pride, that envy, that doubt, that hatred. Start to learn your true identity, your true spirituality, and start moving forward in the spirit. Go ahead.
For if thou comes too near, it will bite.
Yeah, because we know what sin does. You know what that sin's going to do. See? It's going to destroy you. Go ahead.
The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion.
Right. When it gets that bite, it's going to lockjaw on you, boy. That's what negative is. That's what sin is. Go ahead.
Slaying the souls of men.
There you go. So what do you have to do? You have to amend. Right? Go ahead. Read on.
Verse 3. All iniquity is as a two-edged sword.
Go ahead.
The wounds thereof cannot be healed.
You see, when you get in that, when you mess with sin, it's going to destroy you. It's like that two-edged sword you shove in and you twist. It leaves an open wound. That's how iniquity is. So you got to run from it. Go ahead.
Verse 4. To terrify and do wrong will waste riches.
All right, go from there. Go to Isaiah 55 and what I asked for?
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6.
Go ahead, read that.
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found.
Do what?
Seek ye the Lord while he may be found.
Right. Everybody want to seek the Lord at the end day. He said, I never knew you, you worker of iniquity. You want to seek him at the end. That's what religion got you thinking. Like you could just show up.
Right.
Show up at the end and like, oh, throwing your garments on. It don't work like that. You got to be ready for the marriage. You got to have your pure white apparel on. You can't just show up like the black man, like the Hispanic man, all late, half dressed, half righteous, half pure. And then, oh, Yahweh. He's like, dude, you made it to the marriage late. Go out there, dude. It don't work like that. Read it again.
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near.
Read.
Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts.
See, because when you really get down to it, what is this about? All right, slumpers. So what is it about? It's forsaking his thoughts. See how it hits the spiritual and the physical? Thanks for coming, sister. Y'all see that? It hits the physical and the spiritual. Forsake your thoughts. Because that's where the real battle is.
Right.
In your mind. Go ahead.
And let him return unto the Lord.
Go ahead.
And he will have mercy upon him.
Right.
And to our God. For he will abundantly pardon.
There you go. So y'all see that, right? I mean, I can keep going. That's it. That's it. Like I said, he's got a lot of scriptures to go around this. But you get it, right, brother? Yeah. Put off the old man, time to fight for the new. You know, keep coming, keep learning, and wherever we can add to you, just ask. You know what I mean? All right, y'all got any other questions? Sisters, brothers, anybody, anything on any topics? Once again, I know it was questions, but the basics was needed. And we are not having class Friday class. Because we're leaving, all the brothers are leaving to the summit. Okay? We're leaving to the summit to Friday. So just letting y'all know, we're going to be leaving the summit. We're not going to have Sabbath class because all the 8-9 camps are going to be out there in San Antonio partaking in the summit, which includes street speaking and all that stuff. So you're welcome to come. Brothers that, want to go down and shoot down, you're welcome to come also. Okay? All right, so I just want to let everybody know online that we're not going to be having Friday class because we are leaving. Everybody's basically leaving to San Antonio for the summit. Okay, but we'll be back. We will be back Monday. Okay. All right, so I just want to let y'all know that. Get the word out. We'll send the text out over the camp text also. Anybody got any other questions? None? All right, anything online? I know.
They're long.
Long gone?
No, I mean, they're
long questions?
Yes.
All right, well, if we didn't answer them, y'all know how we get. We're not trying to run from your questions. We will answer them next time.
Second Ezra, the 11th chapter, the whole breakdown.
Yeah.
I
got it, yeah.
Why would the Most High sacrifice his own son if he instructed us not to partake in human sacrifice?
Okay, we'll go over that. Yeah. Some of them were easy, some. All right, we'll go over that for y'all. So if we missed it, forgive us. We'll go over it next class. All right. All right. So anybody want to say anything? Any announcements? We got the.
Give me the time again.
Monday.
The days, times.
Okay. Class is on Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10. Then you got Sabbath night class, which is Friday from 9 to 12. Then Sabbath morning class, which is 12 in the noonday. No, I'm sorry, 10. Excuse me, 10, brother. 10 in the noonday till 3. All right. Sabbath morning is reading, and we go over the Hebrew. Okay. So that's what we do on the Sabbath morning reading. You'll see all the officers of the soldiers brothers in Hebrew Academy, they're there. All right. So
This location.
yeah, same location, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Any other questions?
Wow.
Nothing. All right. So with that, we'd like to thank y'all, brothers and sisters online, and say shalom.
Shalom.
All right. And Ma'amajim, Wapanya Hakujam, rise and face east.